undisputed champions of APAC-South in the ALGS.
Such a good spot here. Provides any much coverage for Popcorn. Bradley kicks down and out already. Crystal strike there.
About to go down. 1v1, 1v1.
Oh, what? Oh, Shady. He finds the target.
That's going to be a punishing blow.
Tree is covered. Fly high to Senpai. The wraparound is perfect.
What? No! Look to overextend. So does Kashira.
Does get spotted out. The pings go down.
Oh my God! It's the 360! What a beast!
Hello and welcome everyone to the Split 2 Pro League, where we'll be covering all the Apex Legends action here in APAC-South. My name is of course Lace, and this week we return to bring you the best of this region. Now if you don't know our casters already, we have, let me introduce you, Genome, once again the most profound, knowledgeable caster that we have. And don't forget the forever fueled pizza man himself, Dax. Thank you guys for joining us once again. Genome, we most definitely eat, sleep, Apex repeat. Are you ready for what we have installed today?
Yeah, I am. Give me some Fatboy Slim beats. I'll be here pumping it out every time with that. I think, I feel like there's been a lack of Apex. No, actually, I was just going to say there's been a lack of, Apex Legends music content. But we've actually had a bunch of that this week. I don't know if you guys have been seeing it on the subreddit. There was, the Ballad of Imperial Howl and, Designful and maybe one other as well. People are just, throwing them out. Maybe, I don't know if we had any APAC-South ones. Maybe someone can give us some help down here with and get some beats online for us.
Yeah, I did actually hear them all on Reddit, and sometimes, it's actually quite good. And yes, let's get some APAC-South ones. I definitely agree with that. And Dax, things are really heating up for us in our region. Can you give us some quick highlights from last week?
I mean, the biggest highlight has to be Legends Gaming, right? Perfect run so far, 25 stage points in each set that they have done, and now they're at the very tippy top. But we've seen also some big names really show on up. You got Makers there in second, Serenity within that top 3, and I'm really excited to see because today is going to be a big day for some of the teams also looking to play catch-up.
Yeah, we definitely had such a thrilling start to our Split 2, but as our pros lock in for today's matches, let's take you through the format and how Split 2 will work.
Let's jump straight into Split 2 of the Year 4 Pro League. Here's a quick reminder about our format. Each region is made up of 30 teams. 8 of those teams battled through the preseason qualifiers, and 22 earned it through established winning form, invites from EA, or by being the best of the rest. Those 30 teams will be split into 3 groups of 10 teams and play a triple round robin with each group playing the others 3 times. At the end of the regular season, the top 20 teams in each region will play a match point regional final, where a number of the top teams of each region will then advance to the Split 2 playoffs. Looking forward to the second split, we're going to find out if the teams that topped their regions have what it takes to make another deep run.
And there we have it. If that's not etched in your brain yet, let's have a look at our schedule. We are day 3, and we are just halfway there, almost to the finals, Dax. I feel like this has just gone extremely fast for us today.
It is so speedy. I can't believe we're already doing round 2 matchups effectively. And then coming into the next few weekends, it's going to be even more exciting. Some teams, they might not be able to have that chance for LAN. Some teams are going to have to really bank on the finals all the way in July. But in any case, today is a good day for many of these teams to make their mark and cement their position as we jockey for those 7 slots going to LAN.
That's it. So, we've got our teams competing today in Split 2. We're halfway through our schedule now. All these teams are going to be competing to try and get into the regional finals. Of course, there's some money on top of that as well. But let's have a look at our teams. As our teams are sort of split and seeded into 3 groups, we'll take you over and show you exactly who will be playing today. Here are our teams. There are solidified in A, B, and C. Today, we will have groups A and B first, Genome, but I know I'm very excited to see that top team there, Genome. Legends Gaming, they'll be performing for us today.
Yeah, I think we get to see them in both groups today, actually. So, there's always been lots of talk in APAC-South about, how tough it can be to play 12 games of top-tier Apex back-to-back. So, can Legends keep up that energy, keep up that tempo for the entire day? And will they walk away with another 50 split points to add to the 50 they've already got? We've never seen a team in any region ever get the perfect split. Even, Rig back in their heyday with Sharky, they had some crazy performances, but they didn't win week after week after week. So, look, Legends have started it off perfectly. Can they continue that? That would be a big ask, but it's going to be an exciting one to follow along and to cheer for.
Yeah, I guess that's something we don't really talk about, when teams have to play the 12 matches and the fatigue sets in, Dax. Legends Gaming do always showcase such skill and passion throughout all of their games. Do you reckon they could see this today?
Well, I mean, all I have to say is, I look at Legends and their stats. I look at Legends and how they play. And even if they need to go with 12 maps today, they just get better and better. Highest kills for Easy Flash right now. Highest damage for Strafing Flame. Player K truly becoming a player of his own. And he's just doing so well as a unit. This team is on point right now.
Yeah, and that was a team that you like to look at as well, Dax. X and Y. I know you're one of their cheerleaders.
Player K, it's the beginning of the end. X and Y is always a powerhouse, but listen, man, this was so fun. Legends Gaming, hear how they ended this game.
Oh my God! You guys are the best!
Nice.
You hear that? Confidence from Strafing Flame. We heard it in the interview. We heard it in their comms when we go for the listen-ins, and Legends Gaming right now, it feels like they're on cloud 9. They are basically at the top of the mountain, and they're just so honed in.
Yeah, they always seem to just have absolute passion and fun, and like I say, a snowball effect. They just get going and going as the games go on. But well, in Split 2, our pro teams have, had some major changes. Season 20 was hitting them, character meta changes, and of course, we're going to touch on POI draft systems once more, so that is locked in for you guys. So let's take a look. Who better to introduce our draft system than the man Rain Day himself?
Hey Legends, today I'm here to explain the new ALGS POI draft system. This format change aims to even the playing field while challenging teams to adapt to different POIs and different playstyles. How, you might ask? Well, this is how it works. Prior to the Pro League regular season, each team receives a random assortment of draft picks for match days 1 through 9. The assortment is perfectly equal, meaning if a team receives the first draft pick, they'll also receive the 40th draft pick on that match day. This draft style is called a snake draft, and the order of draft picks changes with each match day, which means that teams may not always get their preferred POI. On draft day, each team will make 2 draft picks, 1 Storm Point drop spot and 1 World's Edge drop spot. Strategizing is crucial, as drop spots on both maps are up for grabs at the same time. There will always be more drop spots than teams, which means that even if you're the last pick, you'll have multiple options to choose from. Once a POI is chosen, it's off limits to all other teams for that match series. On match day, each team is dropped from an individual dropship above their drop spot. It is a whole new ALGS. Well, I hope that explanation clears things up on how the POI draft system is going to work in the ALGS. If you want a more detailed breakdown, check out our latest blog post and follow Play Apex Esports on X to stay up to date with all things ALGS.
Well, as we hit week 3, I'm sure that all our teams are fully over the draft system. And, it's something that they need to have being challenged and also adapt to different POIs and playstyles, Genome. So, these teams have really solidified all of this. But, Genome, why don't you take us through World's Edge, our landing spots, as our teams have chosen their draft spots.
Yep, so we'll start off on World's Edge once again. We'll flip it around halfway through the season and we'll move over to Storm Point. But as we are starting here today, you can see by the numbers here, a lot of teams actually opting to prioritize Storm Point. So not a lot of early picks. Some of the few we do have, say Kill Devil over there at Skyhook West. They've been playing very well from, Survey Camp. So if they can do that from Survey Camp with the weak armors you get over there, interesting to see how they go from there. Once again, Maud seems to be being left open more and more throughout Year 4 of ALGS and Split 2. So outside the ring, early picking Stacks. Once we see an early pick on Stacks, it does seem to really ward other teams away from picking Maud, and therefore the team who gets Stacks does kind of double up on POIs. And you can see there, with Dome open as well, there's potentially a lot of loot there for outside the ring if they do want to do that. I guess the only difference is that unlike the olden days, you can't have people drop directly on all three of them and do it like a triple split drop just to loot. You do have to go from that dropship that's a bit lower down, and it does limit where you can land now.
Yeah, that's really interesting because, we have Legends Gaming. They're choosing Geyser once again with Dome and Big Maud being open, Dax.
Yeah, Legends Gaming, they have decided always prioritize Storm Point, so we'll make two with Geyser, we'll make two if we do get Landslide. But I really want to point out something so interesting here today. Since Makers don't get Stacks, they actually go for Siphon. And at the very last pick of World's Edge itself, Weibo Gaming very willing to contest them. So Siphon, it's going to be so exciting for the first 3 games.
Yeah, exactly. And why don't we take ourselves through? We have a bit of a scouting report to go with you. I believe we're going to have up X and Y. Dax, I'm going to say you're one of the best cheerleaders for this team.
Oh, come on, don't do me like that, As much as I love their coach, it's really X and Y as a team that has showed up in full force. You start with YC, really stepping it up to the plate today. He's in the top 5 of kills. He's always there for the cleanup, but many eyes are very focused in on JR himself, a superstar in the making in MNK. Top 5 damage, and damage taken and damage dealt kind of differential. Top 5 in the KDA, and X and Y has an absolute unit as a team. One of their weaknesses, perhaps, when they go for the macro, they do get third party, but their micro calls, especially courtesy of XD, when they fight, they are so smart at making sure the resources are drained before they go in and take the dub.
Yeah, and sitting at 4th place on the series standing, they're doing exceptionally well, and I feel like that they will only just get better going through these matches. As we have our groups A, B, and C competing, we're going to go over to World's Edge because we are ready for match number 1.
We will see Weibo Gaming and Maker share a POI. You guys are tuning on in to A and B yet again of APAC-South. Dax here with Genome on the cast, but Genome, come on. Weibo and Makers, this is such a make or break kind of moment for these two teams coming into this lobby.
Yeah, they've both landed in Siphon, as you did point out earlier, but unlike some of the other teams we've seen so far on this double Siphon drop spot, Dax, they're not running at each other. They seem to be just very, calmly looting and going about their business. The more interesting part at the start of this game was Legends Gaming, who were dropping at Geyser, strafing Flame, continues around Geyser, loots there, but Easy Flash and Player K, knowing that Big Maud was open, immediately ran up the hill and took that loot for themselves. So they've essentially doubled their loot. Outside, who were landing at Stacks, as we were talking about before, with the POIs open on either side of them, they've now moved down to Dome. So they're definitely going for, taking their time, getting, maxing out all the Evo harvesters, all the loot bins that they can find to grab that extra Evo damage. But yeah, interesting just how some open POIs have really shifted things around. And even though you can't directly land on it, Legends were prepared clearly and went straight in there just to try and buff their chances to start with, despite the fact that they've drafted, quite a lowly POI in Geyser.
And that also removes a few options for Makers, a few options for Weibo Gaming to look for some other loot zones anyway. But if you guys saw the Legend selection from up top, Sure, Bangalore Bloodhound, 100%. But the big thing in APAC is, if you've been watching APAC North, Fuse is the meta there, and Fuse is the meta here. 7 Fuse picks. It's been running rampant in scrims. It's been running rampant on Twitter, actually, with people like Panda talking about it. So yeah, Genome, Fuse is gonna be such a big part here, overtaking the Catalyst heftily in the 5 legends that we have in terms of diversity.
Yeah, look, expect some evac towers going up as Legends Gaming. You saw they did group together, making that move towards Ghost Town here. And the zone is pulling towards Fragment, towards Ghost Town. Perhaps a little bit north. One of those circles we often see could be there. Oh, strafing, even grabbing some angles here on MDY. And no longer are they MDY Black. They have just renamed to MDY, as we were sort of joking last week, because they're the only MDY team left now.
I wasn't joking. That was for real. And I'm glad they listened to us there, Genome. MDY, though, in a spot of trouble. And Strafing Flame, he's been so impressive, really, this split. Honed in and ready now to go for the push. Easy flash, though. They'll hit the lob and nade up top. Legends Gaming have the ground floor. Quick little scan, too. But Legends, they're keeping in their zone for now. Not finding the opening if they would like here.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing this pretty safely considering that Bayern is already down, right? I mean, this is a 2v3, but I guess they just don't want to, you know, take any casualties. They're going to play it safe. They do have to try and get through Orgenstern's, the piercing spikes there. He's got them constantly on the stairways, but, oh, it'll be a bit of a slow fight for them, so we're going to move forward to some faster action happening around the grounds here with Makers getting into it near Geyser.
Yeah, Fangs Baird, and not just Warmonster Firebird, but also Bearclaw Gaming looking at Makers, our perennial second-placing team. Second place in 2 of their sets, only behind Legends Gaming, and a few dubs along the way. They've taken 3 maps overall in the split so far. But their loot has been split with Maple Gaming, and Warmonster Firebird, with a little catch there, Makers have to back out from that fight.
Yeah, so Warmonster Firebird, they're landing at Landslide this week, and you can tell that Legends were actually expecting to get that pick in the draft. They were a little unhappy that Warmonster Firebird pulled that out, and Warmonster Firebird's reaction was basically like, sorry guys, but you know, we love how you play, and we're just trying to take your lead, basically. We're going to take the Legends Gaming playbook and try and run with it and make it work for ourselves. So that's what forced Legends to have to flex over into Geyser, but it's also what's making this current POI draft system even more exciting in seeing how these teams can adapt to the different POIs and the different curveballs that are thrown their way.
Look, imitation is a serious form of flattery here, Gino. Of course, they're the top 1 squad. You gotta follow their example. And we'll see if that's gonna pan out well, but here we go again. Fragment can be fully occupied by multiple teams. Looking at LGD there, you got Fruit Salad, VK Gaming, Keep Going Gaming, as well as No Credit looking set on up.
LGD, nice and set up here. As we had a look at those, you know, legend picks beforehand, right? You got the sense that there were obviously the teams who are more trying to play for the edge playstyle, trying to play for the 3rd beacon. They're going to be picking Fuse, and then you got the teams who really just want to get in there and get the job done sooner rather than later. They're going to be, you know, they're going to be on blues for the longest time. If they do well, they might be able to tick up to purples eventually. You'll rarely see them on reds. So those kind of teams are going to be playing Watson. And then we've got a couple of holdouts here still trying to pick up the Catalyst. That's MDY we saw take that loss early. And then MXF also picking that up. Legends Gaming, in the meantime, whoa, that actually had one hit back. And no, they're just going to go down completely. So, wow, the revenge there from MDY with a little bit of help from the longbow, sorry, the Sentinel coming out from 3MZ.
Yeah, Fire pitching in, but I have to say, Augenstern has been such a menace with the piercing spike placement. Remember that 1 win MDY got last time around when we saw them on World's Edge? It was because of those piercing spikes. Legends Gaming, they were playing very wary of it to begin with. It still wasn't enough. Incredible work there by MDY, removing our favorites so early on. They're the first team eliminated here.
And especially when it was a zone that was so close to them, and honestly would suit their playstyle quite a lot, because, you know, talking about, you know, the Fuse versus Watson sort of playstyles there, obviously Legends Gaming, one of the best running that Watson. And despite getting a circle in their backyard or very close to it, they aren't rewarded. Whereas MDY, as we can see, now picking up that and making some space for themselves, have even managed to grab the respawn onto Bayern.
And it's impeccable that they have to respawn while Dreamfire was fighting, but here we look at Weibo instead. In scrims, it's been a lot of trials and tribulations, but right now Weibo looking to do what they do best. Jackie Chan moving forward. Bobo gets knocked onto one already. That's Nuku down for the count. Weibo having the advantage here in the Geyser fight, but while this happens, outside in trouble. Maker's looking to also go for the third party. Weibo though, the cleanup looking strong so far here.
Yeah, Makers with the Blues, they haven't done as much Evo harvesting as the other two teams that we were just looking at, but now with Emil trying to hide, he's hoping that the crossfire between Weibo and Makers will actually scare the other two teams away and leave him safe. And I think it's actually worked for now. Makers going back into the choke north of Geyser, and Weibo look to be going back into the vault tunnel as well. They do eventually have to make their way there, considering the ring will close that end of the Geyser off. And thus, Emil might get a chance to pick up his banners and maybe grab a respawn somewhere like North Siphon in the zone.
Oh, but Weibo's looking for him, trying to fight that single rat. And I do want to talk about Weibo Gaming a little bit more too, that in scrims I was watching this week, they've been testing out so many different comps, even trying Lifeline out just for a more aggressive stance whenever someone gets knocked down. You can see the difference here. Gugu's going to be on the fuse. Weibo really searching for that final target, and Emilia's gotta get out into the building. He goes. This ring gonna close on in, and Weibo taking their sweet time. They're gonna have to go through the vault tunnel just to safely rotate here.
Yep, Emil looks like he is saying goodbye to those banners, going the opposite direction. But as we go the opposite direction of the map here and get a look at Bookie Borders, they're taking on HKUF. They've made some roster changes this week. Actually, I think 2 out of the 3 members switching over. And they're currently on the better side of the ring, trying to gatekeep Boogie Borders coming in here.
Big change for HKUF, but Boogie Borders, they want to keep now honed in, and despite Killapause with a good off angle here, cracking those shields with a pylon, keeping HKUF topped up here. You can listen in now to Boogie Borders to see what's going on with them.
Swing me! They're pushing you. I cannot finish it, Low?
Crack Watson.
On the knock!
Nice.
You
need to reload. Up top, you need to heal. Just heal.
You need to heal. I'm running inside this one first. He's here. Yeah. He's right here. He's rezzing right now. Yeah. He bled out. Just a Watson on my head right now. Thirsting me. Yeah. Trying to thirst. Thirsting me. Behind my box. Yeah. Sprung out on the rocks. Doing that.
Nice guy.
Yep.
Oh, nice little clutch up there from Killapause. You saw how low he was, gets back outside, like inside the ring, enabling him to start getting some meds off. The call from Raki was that he was rezzing. He was actually didn't get it off in time, only got the banner there from HKUF. So Killapause kind of went back in with a sense of urgency, thinking the time was against him, but luckily it was still the 1v1. But now that with the ring closing again, Killapause does not have a lot of time, does need to make it in, and he'll probably find trouble in the name of Serenity as he goes back in further, potentially looking to try and get the other 2 members of Boogie Borders back online.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's the one respawn beacon by Serenity that they're pinging rather than the free one to their south, but we move elsewhere now. Final Dream moving on in. They have at least a house to try and work with and push into. MXF also rolling thunder early on. There's pressure from afar. Maker still in the same position. Nades getting lobbed here by MXF, who do have a new member in the roster here in AOE.
And Meals actually found his way in the middle of all of this. He's going for some thirsts, but with MXF in absolute shambles, Makers look to try and finish off both of these teams and pick themselves up some Much needed Evo there. They do take one down though as Ziki hits the floor.
Yeah, Ziki, he needs to be brought back up, but Makers have been playing Gatekeeper here on the south sides for so very long. Makers get the reset that they want. Boogie Borders eliminated. VK Gaming also gone. So Serenity doing a good job holding height here on the north side of the map.
It's a good spot from Serenity, but I think they're actually going to be pushed out of zone maybe a little earlier than they would have thought, because it's very much pulling towards the lone train car just east of Fragment. It's going to be a weird zone. There's a lot of, sort of garbage. You can see basically where that care package is. That's pretty much where that zone is ending. There you go. So you got that train car, there's all the sort of debris under the broken bridge underneath. So there'll be some spots to play later on in the game. But as Serenity moves in from the north, they're really going to want to maximize that KP, because there's going to be a lot of sightlines on them from, LGD playing in the buildings and the other teams in Ghost Town as well.
Boogie though finding two and Kill Devil now in trouble. Serenity with a push on forward, still the Kings of the North, but they need to bring Legacy back to life. And just looking back at the ring here, Genome, I've noticed that's something we saw last week, and that one train car, it becomes Grenade Central later on. Yuki though still not done. Beast of the Hunt, Kill Devil is gone now.
Bolin tried to go in for the hero play, but they basically already got the revive off there, which means Serenity back to a full 3. They got some of those KP that I was just talking about. They needed that up to 4 at the moment for the team in this first game. Now they need to look to try and clear out some other teams.
And there you go. That will be the patented Sky Motherload, the Skyload if you will. But Bearclaw Gaming, we got something different. But Limo, Maker is gonna be gone here. Bearclaw doing God's work to remove Makers now from this fight.
Okay, so Serenity, they actually play for the train car itself. Remember, they're not a Watson team. That spot is just made for that controller character. But Serenity are going to have to play aggressively, pumping out those knuckle clusters to try and keep other teams at bay and not poking them.
Weibo though, now they're knocked down to a single member. Jackie Chan looking to fight for his life. MDY, on the other hand, still Kings of Ghost Town, but they have to deal with Dreamfire on the opposite end. It's been a good run for MDY, though. Holding steady inside these houses, but they're going to need to move soon as Weibo Gaming's going to eliminate it. Bebe, though, ready now with the Beast of the Hunt. Wants to push in towards Dreamfire, looking for an opening. Cracks the shield onto one. But MDY, all they can do is poke from afar. Eventually, they catch Dreamfire, and they eliminate that squad.
Beast of the Hunt and Havoc name a more iconic duo this year. People have been saying when you activate that ultimate, you have to get damage done because you know that the other team has theirs as well. And if you fail to capitalize in that window, the other team will just have such a huge advantage. Knowing the timings, has the other team popped theirs, when can you use yours? It's a bit of a cat and mouse game, this split that these teams have to play in order to try and get the advantage and the upper hand in a 3v3 fight.
Yeah, but we're not done with the fight here, and goes down to MDY, still standing as a 3-0. Final Dream thought they had the opening after the nade, but MDY's reset allows them to take care of War Monster Firebird. All the way on the opposite end, LGD also playing it out. They catch out two from Fruit Salad, the Kings of Zone. Really, we've seen of APAC-South trying to keep things going. They need to push. It wasn't the best day of the offense last weekend for them. A case now to be made as they're within the top 8.
So these teams all having to move. We said the positions in this next circle will be okay, but the moving there, getting there, when you can just see how many angles the other teams have on you is very hard. And that's so rough because I don't know if Morgenstern got the wall off. He was hesitating a little bit, pulling the trigger on that ultimate, and that might have cost them.
It's tough now for MDY. It's tough for so many of these teams as LGD have moved in closer to the train car with the pylon and have Fruit Salad eliminated, but from afar, Mingyu Wei doing work. Shots there with Bloodline and the Havoc too. LGD keeping things going. They actually catch out Yugi, so there's an opening for LGD to try and take care of Serenity on the inside here.
They do get the revive though. Serenity one of the things they had going their way was they had enough meds. So pushing into this position, they can actually peek. They can try and scare some other teams off, and they are allowed to take some damage. They're not going to be in shambles like you would see a lot of teams playing earlier for a god spot.
And struggles continue now. Serenity fighting for their lives, and LGD just run into them. A freight train.
No third party?
No third party. Serenity safe. And this is huge for Serenity. They have a chance to bring everything back up, but Buki still gets caught there.
Oh no, we do have another team pulling in. That's Vegas Inferno, as well as Keep Going Gaming at exactly the same time. And that is going to make it almost impossible for Serenity. They did very well to hold off that first push, but unfortunately the third and the fourth party at the exact same time is a sandwich that doesn't taste any good to them whatsoever. The team's biding their time. Bearclaw Gaming in the south, and we've got MDY as a duo. Remember, they lost Organstern on the push up here, coming in from the east.
That was as castercross as it could get, but Fanfu tracking down these targets. MDY eliminated. We're down to 3.
Oh!
Keep going, just underneath. Nade's getting lobbed again. Bearclaw Gaming looking for the opening. Here they come. Aplo getting caught by the Arcstar. The devotion of Tree Cleaner looking to mop the floor of the opposition. And Vegas Inferno, they're going to be bankrupt after that one. But Bearclaw opening made. This is their chance to take the dub here. They keep going Gaming on the opposite end. And there you have it. Bearclaw Gaming, patience bears fruit. And they take map number 1.
Incredible stuff there by Bearclaw Gaming. You could see all these teams just zerging each other one after one. You know, coming in there and just, yeah, unfortunately, for Serenity, couldn't make it.
And there we go. Turning up is Bearclaw Gaming for us today, Dax. You know, we saw Makers kind of moving through the chaos on the hill, coming from Geyser, getting a nice reset, but there they were. Bearclaw Gaming sort of waiting in a good position, biding their time just on the tracks there. An exceptional, I guess, game from them. They played a little bit patient, you know, Serenity moving on in as well, taking down a team. But, you know, they didn't go in too early. They bided their time and took out the win. How do you feel about that, Dax?
I mean, they played an incredible waiting game. You mentioned it. The fact that they were trying to gatekeep the gatekeepers of Makers, always watching to see what kind of chaos would happen there, cleared their flank. And as soon as they got rid of Makers, all they needed to do was look forward towards the train car, throw some nades, hit some nutty shots, just beam the opposition from afar. And eventually, it was their chance when they saw Keep Going and Vegas Inferno have their own scuffle. That was just a free win for Bearclaw, who not only took the dub their lace, but 13 kills. That's around, what, 25 points to start off their day.
Yeah, it's an exceptional start for them. You know, we're only hitting in game number 1. We still got plenty more to go, Dax. But you know what? Having that nice little lead is really going to be great for Bearclaw Gaming. And as we see Makers sort of coming down and, you know, as we said, the gatekeepers being gate kept, Bearclaw Gaming just holding that position and making sure that nobody comes into that spot as they can sort of clean up the chaos that unfolds here. Serenity doing a great feat. Legacy dropping down off height there. Dax was probably, I guess, not so great for them, having a whole team just waiting, you know, a bit of damage Legacy put out, but that was probably the feat for them. Also, MDY had a great position early on in building, fending off Legends Gaming, but losing Organson on the rotate. So, you know, I had high hopes for MDY, but there we go. Bearclaw Gaming sitting at 13 kills, first place off the bat. Dax, how do we feel?
I gotta agree with you. Augenstern, he gave them a chance with those piercing spikes, but near the end, falling early on prevented their right rotation in that last bit of the map. I do want to say, though, also, Serenity, this is something Gino pointed out. Great position. But you look at their comp. You have the fuse. You're getting some good kills. And it was also unfortunate for Legacy, because I understood why he dropped down. He feels like he's confident he can go for the 1v2. And in a world where his opponent didn't have a devotion lace, it could have actually happened. But Tree Cleaner showed up with the biggest gun of all. Let it rip. Legacy fell, and it allowed Keep Going Gaming to at least make it to the top 2 there.
Yeah, and I feel like this is the first time we've sort of seen Keep Going Gaming up the top of the leaderboards in Split 2. So it's nice to see them turning up. I remember the wonderful name Tree Cleaner, one of the best ones here, Dax. So it's really great to see them absolutely obliterate in our first match. And how we go, Bearclaw Gaming with a total of 25 points, such an exceptional feat from them. And Keep Going Gaming also, coming in strong there with the 4 kill points. I guess, our second, third, fourth, very close together. Not solidifying as many kills as Bear Claw Gaming, but still very much in contention.
I mean, it's good to see the midfield on top. This is their chance now to try and bridge the gap that happened from last weekend. Because look who's in the bottom 10. You got Boogie Borders 11th, Weibo in 13th, and Legends Gaming all the way in 19th place after getting a single KP. But that game really defined by Bear Claw just holding domain the south, Serenity being the kings of the north and taking down anyone coming their way. And as soon as those two halves effectively converged, Bear Claw had the better angle and the better chance to take the dub.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit surprised Baker's sitting there at 14th. They did quite a lot on the hill coming from Geysers and getting a nice clean reset. But, I guess not enough kill points were collected coming through the chaos as you rotate into that final zone for them. But, only time will tell. They'll get I guess another run a little bit better from there. But again, Dreamfire, Dax, we generally see them, anywhere in the lower ranks in our first couple of games. But this is a nice little change from them.
I mean, it's a better start than last weekend. We only saw really Dreamfire step up when we saw those launchpad engagements back in Storepoint in one of their matchups. So it's something for Dreamfire to work with, but I will hold my thoughts about it until we either see them ascend or descend down the ladder. Everyone expects Dreamfire to do more than 8th place, right? Everyone expects Dreamfire to be one of the big names here. We'll see if that's going to happen today, at least.
Yeah, and of course, don't stress. It's only game number 1. We have many more to showcase today for our groups A versus B. But it's incredibly awesome just to see some of our teams that, we don't usually see at the top of the leaderboard rise up in our game number 1. But let's take ourselves a short little break and we'll see you momentarily. And welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us once again here in APAC-South for Split 2 Pro League. Dax, we just saw Bear Claw Gaming slice their way to the top of the leaderboard with an exceptional triumph.
I mean, it was a brilliant beginning for Bear Claw, and we always talked about it in that OS match, right? The patience from Bear Claw has been strong, and it's been something they've been doing. Even last weekend, they love to wait out these kind of fights, see where they can actually scavenge and pick apart the opposition one by one. And Bear Claw Gaming, effective work, 25 points on the board. Good to see them doing good so far.
Yeah, not only a win, but, a lot of kill points there. And as we take a look at what our teams have been playing thus far, you are obviously commenting on more fuses coming into APAC-South, following along what APAC North love to do. So we've got, a fair few picks this time, Dax.
I mean, to be fair, APAC-South and APAC North was simulcast last weekend. And we already were running the fuse, so we're not copying them. No. But then again, it has really become so popular in scrims, and we're seeing it right now. Gun is the catalyst picks. Here we go with Fuse. Watson still always going to be staple in APAC-South, sure, but you already saw what it is for. When you throw out one of those evac towers, you have a mother load, you know you can get so much information with the Fuse, and especially now that you can play with ring consoles too, it's effectively a controller that has more damage than you expect.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And I guess it was interesting to see. I think last week we had Watson and Catalyst sort of toe-to-toe being the selections for that. So to see Catalyst sort of drop a little bit back only to a couple of picks is something that, you know, is different this week. But as we have a look at Fuse, and, you know, we've sort of touched on why everybody's sort of selecting Fuse a little bit more, Dax, but why don't you take us through a little bit about him?
No surprise, Ringmaster is effectively the first perk pick of choice. You're not running a controller when you have the Fuse. You need to make him a controller. And despite anyone's opinions about certain legends having perks of other legends' abilities or init passives, right? It gives so much flexibility for the Fuse comp. On the other hand, Reckless, I think it's really strong because you don't have the defensive properties of having the pylon. You just want to take less explosive damage. Knuckle Hustler is very fun to utilize, especially when you get a hit, you get at least a notification, you go even faster than that. But playing this safe sound and even more secure, it's a reason why we're still seeing this Fuse, because the chip damage plus the information is unreal right now being brought to the table.
Yeah, and that's obviously, you know, quite the extensive knowledge on Fuse at this moment. You know, Fuse, I guess, traditionally, if you have a lot of teams sort of in zone, it's going to be quite a small area. So his Knuckle Dusters, you know, can really come into play and be a devastating feat for teams. But as we get ready, we're going to head over to match number 2 back on World's Edge. Take it away.
It's game number 2 already. It was pretty quick in the first matchup. Bearclaw Gaming at the top of the leaderboard. There's still so much to play for. We are continuing on here with Group A and B. And Genome, we're looking again at Lava Siphon. No one fighting there. Bearclaw, though, safe and sound on Harvester 2.
Yeah, those guys, once again, taking the peaceful route. And yeah, as you say, Bearclaw Gaming picking up the 25 points after game 1. And what do they get rewarded with in terms of rings? Well, it is indeed coming somewhere near their backyard. Dax, and not only are they going to be able to pick up a, you know, they've got an Evo Harvester very, very nearby. They've also got a survey beacon. And once they pop that, they should just be able to, you know, pick where they want to go. They're going to head down towards Tree. Maybe grab the other Evo Harvester down there and pick up a building, or do they want to bet on it being somewhat of a Harvester circle or a Lava Siphon circle and sitting somewhere around there?
I mean, things are looking good for Bearclaw Gaming. Keep an eye out also for Keep Going Gaming, our runner-up from the last map. They start towards Tree, they have the elevation, and they see both Weibo Gaming and Bearclaw moving around the map. They know now that the Siphon contest didn't happen. It's consideration really for Keep Going Gaming to be the ones to push on in here.
Yeah, you can see KPG were keeping a close eye on teams rotating in because, of course, they had the ring console. They had the catalyst to work that out as well. So they know that there's a good likelihood teams are going to be coming towards them sooner rather than later. So they'll take up position using catalyst to start fortifying some of the doors in one of the buildings below Tree, sort of on the lower ground down there, as you can see. And then, you know, all these other teams, we've got Bearclaw Gaming, looks like they're thinking about playing the fences up here, whereas Weibo Gaming on white, there we go, just picking up blues now by grabbing that Tree Evo Harvester. And other teams like VKG also getting a wriggle on and moving down to Tree.
Yeah, and I was watching Weibo. They were marking where Keep Going was going to set up. Eventually, they just push towards the south and actually wrap around and play towards Tree itself. VK Gaming, though, on the other hand, they're going to be in the middle of everything. HKUF also flying on by. Things are getting crowded very, very soon here, Genome. And HKUF, they need to take the other building, realizing that Keep Going Gaming has the first one.
Ooh. Couple of teams now jockeying for position. Now, this is back over towards Lava Siphon, as you can see. And this is a pretty important fight here because it's Makers versus Legends. And Legends have got the first pick here and are starting to move in.
Yeah, number 1 and number 2 in the overall leaderboard. We expected a different kind of fight on Siphon, but Legends Gaming are the ones who'll be willing to throw down that gauntlet. Makers struggling now to find any kind of formation, even with elevation. Scan comes on out from Easy Flash to Legends Gaming on the hunt.
Oh, no.
Here comes Easy Flash though, trying to hit those shots. And eventually Makers, they're going to survive with at least 2 members still standing in different directions.
Dexter with the movement there gets out and kind of jukes Easy Flash. Cannot hit the Havoc shots here. I mean, every single player in this lobby has been trying to nail down their Havoc recoil for this split, but looks like Easy Flash doesn't quite have it on lock. His final dream pushing in here against Weibo Gaming.
Now this is a big fight in the cylinders, and Final Dream decides to go for the advance, shooting through the ladder, even through the staircase here.
Oh,
and
wow.
Papa will
Let's
make
go.
sure that Weibo will be going home after that one. Weibo Gaming eliminated this quickly, and Final Dream with a heavy hand to win it out with.
I mean, I'm pretty sure every time I try and shoot through those stairs, Dax, every single bullet hits the metal, hits the steps, but somehow...
Hey, that's consistency, Genome. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, true. 100% of my shots are, going somewhere at least. Yeah, look. But yeah, wow. Final Dream just like threading the needle there to hit those bullets. And then even when he popped up to get that last 100 damage, honestly, very impressive to clutch that fight up.
Oh, Legends, though. They have a chip on their shoulder after losing out so early on in the last game. LGD, their victim now, and given the kills they got from Makers, I think that's 5 KP right now that they've added to their tally. Now with this position, they also have elevation over the teams like HKUF can keep going and are staying outside of Lava Siphon for the time being.
That said, Dexters did manage to do a bit of a loop-de-loop, go back to Siphon, grab both of the banners, and now looks to have a very easy res down in front of the Stacks loot vault. So I'm sure we'll be seeing that pop up on your screen momentarily. There we go. Both of his members back in, and not only that, they can grab the Evo Harvester nearby.
I think it's a DC there for Amelia. Was standing outside the window, and actually Legends didn't really get the knock, so bit of respect, sure. Also, quick shout out to Prod. I love that we added that last weekend. It's so helpful. Now we know Maker is going to be back as a 3-0, looking to be a 4 still coming into this game.
100%. They are back in. Some extra respawn Evo going the way of Dexter. Now getting ahead of his teammates on that front. Still got a bit of work to do before they get to purples, and you never know who they might run into. Bear Claw, our winners from game 1, staring across at VK Gaming, who are holding a very central position as the ring shifts, and it shifts centrally, Dax. This is going to work out for Bear Claw. It's going to work out for VKG. The teams who hedged their bets a little more here, who didn't go all the way down to tree, played the World's Edge zone game of it could go anywhere, are going to be rewarded.
Yeah, we're still not done with the fights in Lava Siphon. This time, Makers will have a different contender here, and it's No Credit instead. Pylon set up, though. No Credit, they do have the purples right now compared to the blues Makers have. Makers, they have a bit of altitude to work with again. We're going to see where No Credit is set up in.
So they might have lost the first round, but they're going back into the ring again versus No Credits. Both teams just pumping those scans on cooldown to make sure they know where the other team is. Difference, of course, being Savior on his beloved Watson and Makers running the Fuse. Of course, that means, you've got that interception pylon there to soak up some of those knuckle clusters if you can play around that. But let's see if Makers can maybe outposition them, outmaneuver them, squeeze them into a position where they get the upper hand.
I was watching very cheeky indeed's POV there. He scans towards that little command center in the middle. And as soon as they realize that, No Credit actually decide to bail on out and look to go elsewhere. Most of our teams, though, realizing that this ring is going to be shifting northward from their initial positions. You see Boogie Borders also getting in there now. Dreamfire actually playing Gatekeeper towards No Credit. He's going to be stuck in the middle of 2 squads now.
might be okay for the moment, though. As you noted, your boogie board is here on this southern side. Directly above them is Kill Devil. They're holding the roof. And currently just hiding in a corner as they try to dodge everyone else's fused knuckle clusters.
Hey, I was watching social media the other day, and really, I remember Panda tagging you and saying, are you going to be ready for Fuse Genome? Because they also decided to join that train. If you can't beat them, join them. And with it comes a shift of roles. Panda's now on the Bloodhound. Racky's going to be on the Fuse. They used this comp actually in FFL recently, becoming the 3-time champ, winning versus Fnatic especially. So good on Boogie Borders. I hope that they can bring that same kind of performance here in APAC-South.
Yeah, look, it's an interesting interaction in the game. The way that Fuse Ultimate works. I mean, having that scan, having that threat vision on other players who are within your mother load, it was, I'd say, something that, you know, wasn't like a huge part of the kit when the Legend was released. But of course, the way the mother load works, it can spread out to be, you know, 5-10 times as big if you explode it high in the air on something like an evac balloon, and it still provides you with threat vision to that entire area once you are in that spot. So that's what has made this so powerful, and that's why teams are trying to use this, because essentially you get it's like a better Seer ultimate.
I can attest to that. I will neither confirm nor deny that I have done it myself. But we tested this out actually, Gino, a while ago, and even with higher elevated buildings, you can spread out the mother node just like that. And I do feel like with the advent of digital threats being gone, the 1x being removed there, you want to have other sources of vision, which the Fuse does provide. So it's an interesting part of the kit. I do wonder what's going to happen in the
really been great for a couple of teams. VKG, Bearclaw Gaming especially. Vegas Inferno, they're trying to play underneath the bridge, but you know, that can be trouble, right? There definitely are some rocks you can play around, but if you take the wrong peek, all of a sudden, bang, Heck will take your head off with a Kraber.
Heck is doing work, and Bearclaw Gaming doing what they do best yet again. Stay away from the fight itself. Just poke with snipers and look to get the shots in KP. You still got BK though, right on top of things. Fruit Salad now gonna be eliminated too. And so far, so good for the teams that really did move for the gamble and stay in the middle of those train tracks.
2 kills so far in this game for Bearclaw Gaming. So with a 25 to start off with, they now have the Graber to work with and just try and punch some holes in the other teams as they make their next move. 20 seconds left to go in this ring, Dax. You've got Serenity below you. They're a bit of a threat. Triple red armors here. Bearclaw currently sitting on blue, blue, purple. Just trying to rock some overshields. But, you know, a Kraber can even that up in the blink of an eye.
A single shot, right, can just erase all your armor and HP. If you have the right helmet, sure, you might be able to survive it when you're on reds. See if Serenity can make the push happen, but MDY, instead, they're the ones now with the Dark Veil. Augenstern setting up earlier this time around compared to last map. This allows MDY to try and push, but Augenstern still the first to fall. Bayon next, down to the ground. Bebe, the only one standing. Beautiful shots to knock down Kano. The War Monster Firebird, they were prepared for it, and they're gonna wipe out MDY there.
Oh no, but they can't get the res off with Kano boxing. Despite having enough fences here to keep the dingoes out, they can't keep the bullets, and Kano, unfortunately, is going to leave War Monster Firebird as a duo, most likely for the rest of this game.
Legends Gaming, they tried to play third there, but instead they're getting knocked around by VKG's triple take. Casa still from afar forces Legends to go back to the cover, but Serenity wants to pounce on this. The smoke is the only thing keeping Legends alive right now. Still Casa playing such a spoiler here. Legends eliminated. Jesco doing God's work there. Serenity though, they're left to a solo really. They need a chance maybe to get the res on back up, but VK still marking that spot.
Yeah, Bearclaw have just been leveraging their position so well, though. They swing left, they swing right. As soon as someone pokes their head out, they do some damage, and that's been essentially, they've helped Legends go down, and they put a big dent in Serenity's chances, and now they completely finish them off, and as such, they have got half the zone to themselves now, Dax. This has been a massive move. Not only that, I mean, look at that pylon positioning. Any of the other 3 teams who try and come for them are going to have such a hard time. You know, the bang ult's going to get deleted. There's 2 pylons down now, by the way. Not Hex. He's using, I think, one of his own and one of another team's.
The decision-making from Bearclaw has effectively been unparalleled so far. The timing, they went for the fight. They went for the push. Serenity, they had everything they needed to make the run. But eventually, they were the ones getting caught there by Legends, by VK2. Speaking of Bearclaw, though, underneath the train tracks now, this ring closing on in. War Monster Firebird, the duo left to try and play spoiler there, but it's a big fight between VK and Bearclaw, looking to come on up soon.
Okay. VK on top. Bearclaw having forced underneath now, and then the duo of War Monster Firebird hoping to just pull out some charged Sentinel shots and make some magic happen here.
Casa's been doing so much damage with the triple take. Effectively though, VK, the first time in a while, they're gonna have to go for the direct fights. You can see it here. Immediately, Bangalore looking around for any kind of opportunity. 951 also up top.
Shock hits a couple.
To break the shields. 951 still going for the shield bat. He said it. Or wants the Firebird being a pest. Away from all of this, VK Gaming still on top here.
You know, it doesn't grab any of the headshots, but that's a stick, actually, from the bottom. Shark actually grabs the Arc Star and is just being such a menace regardless. They still go down in third, but have they made this so much harder for Bearclaw? Well, they're going to go for it. They're trying to finish off VK. It's a 1v2 right now. 1v1, and Bear Claw out on top.
The B in Bear Claw stands for back-to-back here, baby, and it's another dub for Bear Claw Gaming. A win a while ago, a win now, and it's just been so smart from Bear Claw so far.
We have our Apex champions.
Again, they do it once more, Genome. Bear Claw Gaming, just playing such good strategy today. Again, they were kind of making their home near the mountain and then creating so much space for themselves by getting rid of everybody on the bridge and just slowly moving in. Even playing, I guess, on lower ground of bridge, having VK on top, they still managed just to fend and fight right in that clutch moment, Genome. Exceptional from them once again.
Yeah, so good. I mean, playing the fence position in with their Watson, where there's only a couple of angles you need to block off. You can use the perimeter fences from that. You can't sneak a lot in. There's some very safe spots to put your pylon down in that position. So that had them pretty much locked in until sort of round 4 or round 5. And from there, you can see they started getting active, right? Started getting aggressive, pushed in, and made a mockery of a couple of those other teams. And by that point, they bought themselves half the circle. Then it got a little less favorable for them, right? They, as you said, they had to stick under the bridge, underneath VK Gaming, and that was where they were at risk of taking senti shots from Warmonster Firebird, who was still down the bottom, but somehow they still turned that around and just sort of juke their way out and win that final 3v3. So honestly, back-to-back here from Bear Claw Gaming, they are looking unstoppable today.
Yeah, they're really turning it up today. They're being patient, and I guess that's what's really coming to fruition for them, is just biding their time and not getting in too much of the chaos that unfolds. But again, VK Gaming doing an exceptional job as well there with the 8 kills, coming in second place. A really nice game from them. Serenity, again, really, utilizing a lot of their positioning too. 7 kills for them, playing an exceptional game in our first match. They're turning it up today as well. And again, Kill Devil, we saw them in our first game of Split 2 doing an exceptional job, and they're really coming back today and doing well.
Yeah, look, Legends pumped out a lot of damage there, 4K for 6 kills there. And the other thing I just want to note about Serenity's damage there, it was quite a bit lower than some of those other teams, but they managed to pull 7 kills out of it, Lace, and that puts them on 22 points overall. We have seen some discussion on the subreddit in the last week or so about some of these teams and, where they get their points from. And Serenity, there was a model put out about, sort of how some of these teams, essentially rating the players and then trying to derive how good some of these teams are from that. And Serenity was one of the teams that essentially defied the model. And I think we're getting a little bit of a snapshot of it there, why that's happening, because they're putting themselves in a position where they are reliably getting, quite a lot of KP, placement points. And then the KP they're getting, they don't necessarily have to, blast the entire lobby away to do it. They're finding small openings, taking them, and then maybe even stealing some of those kills away from the other team. So it's these decisive actions that are really helping them here.
Yeah, we really saw them turn up, for LAN as well. So it's really nice to see them coming in today and showing us exactly the patience and the strategy that we know that they can do. We're going to take ourselves a short little break, though. That was only match number 2, so we will see you right after it.
just creating space on multiple sides of them from early on in the game. And so obviously part of this is that they are identifying those end circles. The calls from the Bearclaw IGL have obviously been phenomenal in terms of getting into those positions early. Chuck in a little bit of luck from a close circle that they can get that spot first as well. And then just some really good gameplay in terms of making sure that, they do have that space.
Yeah, and it just seems like, the strategy behind it all is definitely working for them on this map. So we do go into World's Edge once more and wondering if Bearclaw Gaming, I guess, can do it again and get that bonus point. Will be exceptionally exciting. Obviously, we'll move on to Storm Point. Will they be able to keep up this? But, having a lead at 45 points against VK Gaming and Serenity at 22, they're definitely showing up today. I see that Keep Going Gaming as well, Genome. We haven't seen too much from them this split, and they seem to be, sitting nicely in 4th position.
Yeah, I mean, coming into today, so after the first round, KPG were in 16th spot, so obviously that's quite some ways away from, being LAN eligible, LAN quality, but after that second series, they're sitting here in 4th place. They're one of the few teams running the Catalyst as well, so, interesting that that's working out for them. Honestly, Tree Cleaner has been impressing me a lot. That first game, throwing some banger nades into some big devotion work was crucial to them picking up the 13 points that they did manage to grab in game 1.
Yeah, we saw a lot from Tree Cleaner in Split 1, I remember, because I always touched on that name and absolutely loved it. So it's good to see, that they've taken a lot of the matches in Split 2, gone away and come back and absolutely, re-honed their skills that we know that they can do. Obviously, having to go toe-to-toe with VK Gaming Serenity at the moment to push them all the way up. Again, War Monster Firebird is another one that's sort of climbing the ranks, moving up about 7 positions just from that. So, this is something that I love to see from War Monster Firebird also. But you know what? We're going to get straight into it, guys. We are going to head into match number 3, our last one for our groups A versus B. Let's take it away.
It's been Bearclaw's day today, but can they go for a 3rd win and a bonus point? We're going to find out very, very soon. So many other squads looking to rally back. We go back again to Siphon, Weibo, Makers, same spot, different locations, and still they don't find one another to begin with. No, it does look like Weibo are happy to trade off the command center portion that you're seeing right now. Jackie Chan getting to loot that, and they'll trade that essentially for the middle ground that Dexter has been picking up. Of course, he's on the Bangalore, so that means he is able to get out if he needs to. He's got the smokes to retreat, and he does that just now as Boring and Jackie Chan do pull up into the middle building. And of course, this gives both of the teams an opportunity to be pulling that survey beacon down if it spawns, and as you can see, it does this time. And as we also take a look at the map here, Dax, it's shifted a little bit, so 2 south zones, and this time we are moving over to... Well, actually, no, sorry, we had 1 south zone. The other one, I guess, was similar to this in terms of being fragmented. This one's a little more north, though. Yeah, so there is a chance that, I'd say it pulls up to... I'm going to guess the sort of southern part of Epicenter, where sort of Epicenter meets Fragment near that lava river, and the bluff that's on the top there becomes a very important part of that zone. Having high ground, looking down at people, very strong position to hold. Either that or just randomly shifts back to Ghost Town again, but yeah. It was very, very close. I had to zoom in just to make sure that's around like 10 pixels off from what we saw a while ago. Speaking off games though, Weibo still pretty off right now from how they want to start their run. 3 points for a team that is effectively the defending champions of APAC-South. Bearclaw, on the other hand, everyone looking at them right now impressing. Not only that, they're very good at getting positioned so early on, and no different right now as they just go for the evac tower and look to position in the middle of that caravan. Yeah, I mean, Harvest obviously the kind of POI that you can rotate super fast from. That's why in previous times it has been a POI that a lot of teams have had contested over when that was, still a thing. This time, however, a couple of other teams flying in at essentially the same time. You've got LGD ahead
of the team. You've got Serenity also moving into the northern parts, into one of the buildings up north in Overlook. And this does mean that Bear Claw stop a little bit shorter and will be taking down the caravan that sits to the north of Ghost Town. So look, if we get that pullback you were talking about, Dax, once again, Bear Claw is going to have called it.
Effectively, they're just trying to show off some psychic powers if ever. I'm really keeping an eye out though how Serenity's going to be playing this game. Because for the past 2 maps, I do feel like they've always been a chance to be a winner coming into how everything's been working out in World's Edge. Fully kitted, good positions. They're usually getting caught here in the middle of a few squads. Serenity, a bit more low-key in how they succeed. Right now, they're in some of our top spots. Within the top 3 right now, not just in the A and B matchup, but also in the overall leaderboard. And some big moves from Serenity can really try and shake up the order so far.
Well, if there's one team that I think does have a chance to start pulling it back, I mean, I would absolutely believe it of Serenity. They've been very cheeky indeed in grabbing KPs and placement points here and there. Ooh, Maker's taking an early loss there.
This is big. BK Gaming playing so well to anticipate the Makers rotation and not letting Makers do what they've been wanting to do. Anytime we see one of these north zones, that's 2 down to Makers. It's Asia's the only one still standing. And not only that, VK right now keeping tabs of those deck boxes. It's going to be a long rotate again for Makers to try and go for the res later on.
Good stuff from them, from VK Gaming there. But yeah, Makers have been doing it the hard way, haven't they? There's been so many times so far that they're running into other teams early. And uncharacteristically of a team as powerful as Makers, as good at fighting as they are and have been historically, they have been not going so well to early trades and having to look for respawns rather than restock on the opponent's death boxes.
Recently, I do feel like Weibo contesting them, even though they're not fighting, splitting the loot. And then you also have Legends Gaming taking Big Mod away. It's really ruining the rotation paths here of Makers so far. And as soon as they run into that funnel, if they're not the ones there first, their Genome, another team like VK Game can do exactly what just happened a while ago.
Very chill start to the game here, Dax. Let's see, we've still got 58 members left alive. The 2 members of Makers, the only ones currently out and down. They're not coming back either. No support legend. No banners collected. Asia's, whose stats actually have been phenomenal so far. Obviously, Makers were sitting, I think it was 2nd place coming into today, and Asia's was leading the charge with Makers in that sense. But he's going to have to go it alone here in Game 3.
Yeah. Makers. Yeah, the Asia's what? In the top 3 in terms of kills, just right behind Strafing Flame and Easy Flash. You said it, their Genome, no res. As VK Gaming, they just camp those boxes. And there's just no way for Makers to really play anything else but the Rat right now. Here we go though. Next ring, looking to still stick around where you predicted, just to the west of Overlook. Bear Claw still in the middle of everything. And Fruit Salad, keep going gaming. These guys will have to move a little bit north later on if the ring pulls that way too.
Oh, it's a central pull. Dax placing his chips on the same side of the table as Bear Claw Gaming. Game after game, and it seems to be a pretty good bet for now. They're on blues, but they don't have to worry about that too much. I mean, you know, get 1,000 plus Evo for each of those members to get towards purple, but when you've got pylons coming up and again, you don't have to waste too many meds. Unfortunately, you can't regen ammo, and that is a little bit of a problem here as, you know, Fenfu's just throwing out some longbow bullets there, but he's only got a handful of them left as we see yet another caravan get taken. But this time it's by Legends Gaming, who are very much closer to their purples and in a little bit of a better position loot-wise.
You made me think there, Genome. Is there a legend that can actually regenerate ammo? And I think, what, Ballistic Ult is basically...
Well, I mean, Loba, right? Like, Loba is kind of where you go. You can't regenerate it, but, like, you should, if you're in a good position, which most Loba teams are, you do essentially get infinite ammo.
I wonder if we're going to see Loba anytime soon. Seems not likely so far. I do want to point out, though, you said a while ago, Legends Gaming, you're now going to be taking one of those buildings in the campsite. There are some teams looking to consider really playing towards the tower too, but HKUF, you mentioned a while ago, a new looking team really here. 2 of the 3 members replaced after their first outing. Now Crane, he has an angle towards the train tracks. HKUF looking at least to keep an eye out here after one of their members, Peppered, will try to fly on in.
Trying to use that pylon there to keep themselves alive, and you can see teams are trying to take angles on them. Jesco, he's pushing up. Strafing Flame from Legends is pushing up, so that's it. In the meantime, somehow while all that's happened, Easy Flash actually got put on the ground.
No problem here for Legends, but so far, they can get the resets after we have Easy Flash back up to his feet. Weibo, on the other hand, also taking one of these buildings right now. You got MDY nearby. Serenity keeping an eye out. There's a bit of a lull here. I do have to say, though, some of these teams are looking for recovery coming at the store point. Boogie Borders, on the other hand, struggles here. The ALGS do continue so far. Keeping an eye out with this new look with the fuse. Raki on it with the Nemesis from afar. A fight towards Epicenter is what Boogie Borders want here.
Last time they did this, they only survived with Philippos. Once again, they're taking it with an armor disadvantage. Once again, they're taking this fight on the wrong side of the ring. And there might even be a rogue element here with Asia's from Makers pulling up from the south side. You can see him just on the edge there. Unfortunately, he comes into the fight a little too early, and they do have time to swing their attention towards him, just as Boogie Borders do manage to grab the down.
And as soon as the Siren peaks, he does get down there by Iraqi, but Boogie Borders taking casualties too. Pando being brought back into the fray. The revive isn't going to get stuck. Here we go again. Oh, in the back, there is that pressure. MXF doing what they need to do versus Boogie Borders right now. And MXF, they're the ones keeping both Boogie Borders and Makers away here.
Yeah, look, Pana, unfortunately, has been struggling a bit this season. And his teammates are left trying to do it without him. No team still left alive as Makers does get taken down. And then Final Dream is pushing on here over English Town.
And here we go again. Tree Cleaner, though, making the trade happen in the smoke screen. Final Dream are losing out here. Their beds are made inside this house. Papa, the only one still standing on the outside. He just went for a bit of a run. Now back from the convenience store, looking to get in there. But Tree Cleaner, he has the knockdown shield. He's going to get the med kit off. And now with HP, he can fight yet again. A door built. KPG alive on the inside. But as it breaks on down, here comes the push again. But will force it. And Final Dream will survive that fight.
They survive, and not only that, they get it all to themselves. But guess who's got them on scan? It is Bear Claw Gaming. Benfu goes forward, but it's a feint in the end, and he will pull back. I guess they didn't want to give up their position. It was a chance to get a couple of KP, but I can tell you that some other teams like LGD Gaming playing out of the tunnels, or perhaps even VK Gaming coming from down on south, might have been there to cause a disruption in the meantime.
Yeah, and Papa's been very clutch for the past few games here for Final Dream. Been waiting to see the team formerly known as Monkey King to actually make a mark into the lobby. And they're winning some crucial fights, even though it goes down to the 1v1s. Here we go again, so War Monster Firebird, Hill Devil finding one another in the rotation. Vegas Interner, formerly known as Numb Nim. We see them on the screen. They're shredding those armors already. And Sato actually gonna get down here by No Credit. Savior on the board for now. This pylon keeping him alive, and No Credit still chopped up for the time being. They have the shields, have the advantage, and Savior truly the hero of No Credit there.
Oh, he's done it again. Beautiful work from Savior there, keeping their dreams alive. Meanwhile, We've got all three of the boogie boarders back up. Well, just for a second. Pana down again. Kilo is shortly to follow him this time. And as we get next iteration of the MXF versus boogie boarders fight, Raki has been scanned and he's trying to get this Phoenix off, but as he does, multiple grenades will see him meet his fate.
It has just been so tough for boogie boarders. They're going for the fuse now. Adjustment from last weekend. Still no dice. And we've seen them rally into storm points to make up for those placements that struggle Zedge, but we look at no credit. Continuing on the fight, Savior is feeling it, but Legends Gaming, they want a hand on the action too. Easy Flash has the angle, straight from being flamed, looking to bring the damage on. Already got a knock courtesy of player game. Easy Flash still on it like a bullet, and this is what you want to see from Easy Flash. Unrelenting, sure, but Legends Gaming, they're the ones down. Savior is having the game of his life right now to keep no credit in it.
Damn. They're pulling it out time and time again, even managing to get Cheeky back in. I think he's going to have about half a second
oh, no.
to get his loot out of the death box as he spawns in and has to follow the circle in. But the question is, can Savior do it? I don't think so. Serenity are right on top of them. Lux gets away, but I'm pretty sure the other two are going to get dominated here. A lot of teams now going to struggle, Jax.
The run was so glorious from Savior, but eventually they have been found by Serenity. Dreamfire also in action there. They need to deal with Weibo nearby. We're still seeing MXF though. They've taken the height now. Fish here from above, looking to find any target through the smoke. You can see nothing at all as MXF, they were able to fend off boogie boarders a while ago, and with it they have the position now coming into the ring.
Okay, MXF going to be walling in here. And this means they are going to be heading the way of Bear Claw Gaming. A team who seems they can just do no wrong in World's Edge so far. The Bang Ult will keep them at bay. Need to pop the bats here just to give themselves the opportunity to open this up while Dreamfire fight on the eastern board.
Vintage Dreamfire taking down Weibo. 3MZ though, only one still standing, knocking his teammate into cover. So no name should be brought back to life. Bobo Doe from Weibo Gaming able to get that confirmation from the grave. It's already Serenity looking to knock down Dreamfire here. And Serenity doing so much better here, Genome. Smarter fights, playing the third party, and with a hell advantage, Dreamfire looking to get shredded here. No fence will keep Dreamfire safe. Serenity will take that fight.
Boom, there you go. And again, capitalizing on other teams' mistakes, Serenity able to pick up KP without too much damage. And as VK Gaming push into them, it just feels like they're getting donated KP at the moment, pushing Serenity into second place overall. You can see they're sitting at 33 points. This has been an awesome World's Edge for them. As we should note, Bear Claw Gaming finally have met their maker.
Yeah, the crystal ball has been shattered. They got the calls onto the zone, sure, but it still wasn't enough. So Bear Claw, no bonus as of yet. Serenity, I was highlighting them a while ago. They're putting themselves in a good spot right now, and the odds are towards them as we see this ring close on in. Final Dream, though, also making a mark into the lobby right now. They have the whole south side clear, and they're going to be a threat towards LGD and MXF. Each squad here, Genome, taking a partition of the map right now.
You're right, it is kind of divided up into quadrants as
like
we
pizza.
speak. I mean, do you eat your pizza in 4? That's not the evidence that we have on hand, Dax. But if you were to do that, if you were some sort of crazy 4-piece pizza eating person,
machine. I prefer the term machine.
That is what this would look like currently. But we've got a minute, Dax. We've got a single minute here for these 4 teams to start jockeying for position, try and work out a little something. LGD Gaming, you can see they've got a lot of cover. Very robust there. Couldn't even get a Maggie drill through that tunnel wall right now. They are very much good until they get forced out. And the way the ring pulls, actually, they won't be able to determine when the other teams swing them, but the other teams will have to swing you know, and really commit to put some pressure on LGD Gaming. So their life kind of in the other hands of the 3 other teams left alive right now.
Yeah, agreed. You look at how LGD has to swing into the ring. It has to be them right smack dab on the outside with a spotlight on the train track. So that could be interesting. MXF though looking good. Bocek in hand for a Sauron. It's Caravan. MXF really fought for this one versus Bearclaw. You also still have Fish here poking, prodding from afar. It's MXF looking to be the threat. Serenity still above anyone else here.
And I guess the other thing we should note is LGD there, the Watson team, still on blues. They're not going to hit purples during this fight. The other 3 teams playing with Fuse and a Catalyst, and therefore have done a lot more damage and are going to have the armor advantage.
And they're separating sight lines. Straight up a 3v3 between MXF and Serenity for the time being. Bocek still in hand. The chance here for MXF to keep things going, but Fish taking too much damage from the ring. Jesco from afar, just putting on the pressure. Here we go with the spikes, but it's not enough cover here for MXF. Final Dream also pitching in. So much distance here for Final Dream to work with, but they got the push. They're gonna shove the opposition, and now they await LGD to come on out into their clutches.
Yeah, this is all said and done here, basically. Even with the pylon down the bottom, Final Dream's positioning up the top just seems to be too good. They clean up both of the other teams in their sight lines, and then they just have to wait for the ring to push LGD out from underneath. You can see them just forcing all of the remaining grenades, knuckle clusters, whatever they've got on hand to try and deal with LGD. Formerly known as MDY White underneath.
Yeah, LGD, given that they're in blues, they should be happy to play for second. The fight isn't over, but the odds stacked against them. And a single knuckle cluster. It's immense damage from 7ed here. From above, so below, Final Dream looking down on them. And it's a wake-up call to the rest of the lobby. Final Dream looking to be here to play. Even the time to reset those shield bats. Aimbot though, being down now. LGD still fighting for their lives, but eventually Final Dream's got this one in the bag. The last map of World's Edge goes to Final Dream.
Slow and steady, they wait them out at LGD. Just at too much of a disadvantage, but they'll be happily taking away 9 placement points from that game.
Yeah, so game number 3 done and dusted. Genome, thank you there. Dax, thank you for joining me. Final Dream having some clutch moments. Thanks to Papa, I think on our second game, well, firstly, they took out Weibo with a clutch moment. Papa pulling in all the struts there. Now against Keep Going Gaming in that one, and taking out the win was absolutely exceptional. I feel like Papa's really keeping the dream alive for Final Dream.
Someone everyone has to look up to right now. That is Papa for you there, Lace. And effectively, right, what we saw for Final Dream is how they love to play those Pro League qualifiers from before. Once they get down to those later rings, they're so good at playing their macro, finding elevation, finding where they can go for the third party. And we saw that there immensely. They played so far off in the south. And as soon as the wall dropped from MXF, it was easy pickings for them, because it was unexpected there by Serenity. But this is the moment you were talking about. Papa coming in clutch. Knuckle Cluster doing damage there from 7ed 2. And a bust on in. Goodbye to Tree Cleaner. Goodbye to Keep Going Gaming. And that was the signal for Papa and the rest to take the dub.
Yeah, that's just not the first time he reset, and I have to give this to no credit. They were having such a jaw-dropping fight here against Vegas, and then comes in our leaderboard, our series leaderboard, Legends Gaming, but against Savior, just clutching this for the team and getting a reset on Cheeky as well with the res. It must feel good for no credit.
That was such a showcase there from Savior, and a big reason why he's been in APAC-South ALGS for so very long. Again though, Serenity, victory was a possibility, slips from their grasp, but the top 5 placement, always still good. Final Dream, they had the armor, they had the elevation, and LGD, they looked that they had a bit of a hope there, but as soon as Papa dropped down, that was discipline, and that was done. 10 kills for Final Dream, plus of course, first place, that's over 20 points right now for them to add to their tally.
Yeah, that's going to move them up to a really nice position. And LGD, I guess, not getting any sort of kills onto the board, but still a nice positioning from them. But Serenity with the 8 kills and 3rd place. They were toe-to-toe with VK Gaming coming out of our second match, Dax. So this is definitely going to push them above VK Gaming. I don't believe, it's going to be enough against Bear Claw, who had such a big lead. But let's take a look at exactly where they are. Bear Claw Gaming still out in front with 49. But again, Serenity absolutely moving up the leaderboard from that exceptional game.
Yeah, but Final Dream now within the top 3 because of it. VK Gaming, they're in 4th. And looking down a little bit in the order too, Dreamfire actually had a good game there to make it to 7th place. So Dreamfire, this is a bit of an ember we're seeing. I know you brought it up a while ago, Lace, but I want to see what they'll do in Storm Point 2. Also take note, MXF, one of the best performances we've seen from them in ALGS so far this split. That was a good showcase in how they can actually play so well, wiping out the side where Bear Claw was at, putting on the pressure there with the boat check. And I do feel like for MXF, if they keep up this performance, their points are going to keep on tallying, keep on adding up to keep going in this set.
Yeah, so we've only had 3 games, Dax, but I definitely agree. A lot of teams that, we haven't seen perform quite well are showcasing such great skill on our World's Edge map. But, of course, we move over to Storm Point shortly, and a lot of teams prioritize Storm Point in their POI draft picks, so this could really heat things up.
Yeah, it's just looking so exciting. And not only that, bottom 10 right now, Legends Gaming, too many surprises. Wave was still with struggles, Boogie Borders. We did point out that even though within other competition, not in the LGS, they're looking good, it's still not panning out here in the official circuit itself. Would love to see better performances from Boogie Borders. I know you're like a #1 fan of Boogie Borders there, Lace. You hype them up right now, but these familiar faces that we expect on the top of the leaderboards, they're getting shaken up right now.
Yeah, and obviously, they had a slight roster change as well, so they're sort of getting have to get cohesion together with the team. But yeah, as you said, over the first couple of weeks of Split 2, it just has not been going their way. They've come out from LAN. You would think that they might have sort of a little bit of the passion coming through, but it just doesn't seem to be showcasing. But we're going to take ourselves a short little break here, and we will see you back on Storm Point.
Surprise.
And welcome back, everyone. We just completed game number 3 for Groups A versus B, where we just witnessed the clutch master Papa on Final Drive pave the way for his team to take out the win. And, you know, as I mentioned, a lot of teams have prioritized Storm Point in the POI draft picks. So we're in for some juicy matches here, Dax. You know, Legends Gaming, we love to talk about them. They are currently on the top of the leaderboard for the series points. You know, not doing the best on World's Edge, but they did prioritize Storm Point. So, you know, as I said, they always have like a snowball effect. So they most definitely can pick it up in the next couple of matches.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you, Lace, because to build on what you said, they have had 60 World's Edge points in their series before, 117 on Storm Point itself. So almost double right now. But this is where the exciting part happens, because look at where Legends Gaming is at, Lace. It is not Cito Station, because Dreamfire has taken it away from them, and instead Legends is like, okay, cool, you guys get Cito, we'll take the mill instead. And while it isn't the usual spot for Legends Gaming, this opens up different possibilities for them, especially with Tridents nearby for their access now.
Exactly right. It's not a bad place to go. We find, if you know, that it sort of pulls to the far side where we have fruit salad, making a rotation like I've seen them do through the water with the Trident is something that they can do. Even, I guess, taking out Dreamfire along the way. You know, Dreamfire are having exceptional games today, but, you know, Legends Gaming could collect a couple of kill points. I'm talking, you know, I'm getting a bit antsy here, but that's something that, you know, I've definitely seen them do in the past. But again, Weibo taking, I believe, the pylon that's somewhere where they traditionally used to pick before POI draft stacks. So we might be able to see something a little bit fresh from them, as they're not doing too well throughout the split so far.
Yeah, it's a bit of vintage Weibo, but the performance just isn't there. Also to watch out for, no credit still in Jurassic, the best spot for Xavier and Co to make their runs. But we'd have to mention some of the heavy hitters coming into the lobby right now. You do see Makers actually taking Barometer, which is a decent POI to get coming into the second half of the trap. And also our leaders here, Zeus Station for Bear Claw Gaming. Last week, it was Northpad for them in this matchup. So yet again, they're running those northern POIs, and they're going to have to make those far rotations quicker here if it's always going to be those south rings instead.
Yeah, we've sort of noticed them move into position quite early and get, you know, those great zone calls and create space. So they're going to have a further rotate. We'll be able to keep it up. Let's find out right now as we head over to Storm Point. This is match number 4.
Shifting map, sure, but the gear is always in Nitro. We continue on into these incredible games in APAC-South. Still A versus B coming into this matchup, but we're game 4 out of 6. And Legends Gaming are leaders for the whole split so far, only in 12th place, playing somewhere different here, Genome.
Damn, that is that's a little bit of a lag, but as you pointed out, Dax, there's been a big difference in how they've played Storm Point and how they've played World's Edge so far this split. But I mean, you know, we've had a couple of different legends switching over from Storm Point now than what we've seen from World's Edge. You know, Kill Devil, it's only been the controller characters that they're swapping out. Now that shouldn't be any surprise to you guys, because currently Bloodhound and Bangalore 100% pick rate. That's what we saw last time, I believe, that we had groups A and B. Dax, these guys are the meta slaves. They're going with it. And if we have a look at the compositions here, you can see half the teams picking Watson, and then a quarter picking Fuse, a quarter picking Catalyst. So that means, obviously, yeah, we've had an uptick in Catalyst. LGD Gaming going from Watson to Catalyst. Serenity, Fuse to Catalyst. We've got Fruit Salad, Catalyst to Fuse. Outside the ring, Fuse to Catalyst. And Kill Devil, Fuse to Catalyst. Oh, sorry, Fuse to Watson.
All I see here, buddy, is buy one character that can use a ring console, get Bloodhound and Bangalore for free. Because it's been the case so far. Even the team compositions are basically teams that have Watson 50%. You got the quarters there for Fuse as well as Catalyst. So comparing to World's Edge, more Catalysts, more walls. We've seen how effective they can be when the rings are more out in the open. And speaking of the ring, we're going to the north towards the Trident area, where we see some teams really start off from.
It used to be just a little add-on. It used to be a better POI when you had the IMC Armory here, honestly, Dax. Now without it, It's a little sad looking, but teams will still pick it just for, you know, potential rotation options, just for getting rings like this, frankly. And I think that's actually something that we probably haven't talked about a huge amount so far this split Dax, but is actually quite important as we're seeing one of these early pickups. That's MDY that's on the floor right now. Beyond trying to get away. Sorry, his teammates trying to get away. But is that, you know, from split to split, from season to season in Apex Legends, different circles tend to pop up, right? Different places in the map just have a higher proportion of overall end circles. Teams, if they're smart and if they're doing their homework, should be taking that into account when they're drafting those POIs. If you're an edge team or if you're a zone team, you know, you want to be picking either, you know, far away or close to those circles, depending on how you want to play, and giving yourself the highest possible chance of hitting Godspot early on and capitalizing and maximizing those points.
Well, Legends Gaming, they're looking for a building to work with, and they actually land on top of Serenity, who just bails out immediately. Serenity allergic to the fight. It could have been another contest for a building a while ago. We did see, as you mentioned, MDY losing a player since they landed at the same time from War Monster Firebird. Just to chip in to your discussion point, with a Northern Circle like this, look at Makers right now. They're going to be Barometer as their starting point. They have a Trident. And looking at the stats, actually, Makers has the most ring damage so far because of these Storm Point games, as Vegas Inferno have a different plan right now moving into Cascade Falls here.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't surprise me, right? With Makers having to, you know, go back into the zone just to replenish their teammates time and time again.
They love the ring. Their friend.
Put a ring on it.
No. I mean, take them out to dinner first. Come on, man.
You gonna go to a pizza place, Dax, or?
Of course. You want gourmet, you want speedy. Pick one.
Faster pasta.
Olive Garden, get your breadsticks. Anyway, enough food talk. We're gonna get hungry here. All these teams just gonna be ballooning on in, and interesting enough, got outside already in position. Got MDY taking the oranges. I'm really concerned about any of the squads to get really held off in these choke points where VK Gaming is landing. Bearclaw Gaming on the other side of it, and we've seen them succeed last weekend in this kind of position too.
We have seen them do well before. Seen them do well today, honestly. But no one better so far than BCG. 49 points. They're on track for an absolute banger of a day. As Heck tries to hit some bangers himself here. And we get the 120s out of the Sentinel here. Charged headshot does way too much damage. The Kraber for free.
Heck's been doing work with the sniper all throughout the split so far, but we move the action towards Legends Gaming and Serenity. Legends have found the knock already. Now a siege towards the second floor. An easy flash, as always, wanting to lead that charge. Beast of Tunko confirming Jesco now. They knock away a member of Serenity, but the bailout is there from Yugi and Legacy, so a quick little swap of buildings here. But Legends Gaming, they're going to take that KP to start off.
Nice little pickup from our Indonesian team. Staring down Kill Devil. Started off the day a little bit more rough, but it's been a great start to the season, to the split for them.
AK though, and Vegas Inferno having their own fight. Vegas Inferno looking for impact here, being signed by the org itself. But VK, other plans, they need to bust through defenses here. The Bangalore with the push again. VK Gaming still on the hunt. But YR making them work for it. The movement YR to keep them locked. Dreamfire also looking for the third party. Vegas Inferno eliminated now. But next on the list will be the squad that they're trying to catch. And VK Gaming, they're gone too here.
Wow, VK. They can be happy that they at least chased down that last kill, got the confirm, and grabbed those KP for themselves, but it does come at the cost of their lives, unfortunately, with Dreamfire picking up that and the position, honestly. It's going to be good for Dreamfire, as you said. This is not a bad spot to be playing in one of these zones. You can sort of just walk it in here, look at the chokes, be looking backwards at the teams like, you know, HKUF, like Fruit Salad, that are coming in behind them.
One of my most favorite terms right now for Dreamfire has to be opportunistic. They've been making sure that these chances, these fights, are safe for third parties compared to when they get caught, and there's more confidence. It's something we were talking about last weekend too. Dreamfire, in their decisions, always hesitant. Now, a lot more sure, secure, and making sure that these kind of fights can go their way.
Yeah, they are Team 11, by the way. Shout out to the orange team over there. So HKUF actually got ahead of them. We were saying, you know, if they pulled into that next circle, they might have been able to take out that position. But, of course, Dreamfire don't have the ring knowledge. They haven't been able to get 3MZ. Playing Watson for what must be one of the first times in his career, because that definitely hasn't been a pick that Dreamfire has gravitated towards in the past. If they went controller, it was, you know, usually it was a Caustic pickup for them, but unfortunately Caustic not so playable in Split 2, and so finally we do see Dreamfire having to flex, and they're even flexing the choke. They're going to go down to the more southern one rather than trying to take on HKUF, who did get there later, and as a result, you know, of being past a few more Evo harvesters and have the purples already.
Look, the fans of Dreamfire, they've been begging for change, and we even hear adjustments now in terms of the composition, so I'd love to see what Dreamfire can do. Weibo also moving now into checkpoint, but no credit at Final Dream, who have stepped up to the plate so far in this set, are the ones nearby. Also, let's talk about the ring here real quick. I do want to point out, while Legends Gaming, not only do they have a building here, Genome, they also have a survey beacon they can utilize to confirm positions later on.
That'd be pretty handy, if they can get any use out of it. Of course, that is. Might be a little hard with the other teams in proximity. Okay, going for it, but no! As soon as he tries to light up that beacon, LGD are all over him like a rash. They come in. LD pops the Eye of the All-Father. They get a lot of information about where these other three members are. They try and wall, they try and bang ult just to stop LGD in their tracks, but is that enough?
LGD unable to actually confirm that kill. Instead, MXF with the retreat over to the south. This ring is not going to be their friend, and with all that noise being made, Fruit Salad, they also want to keep an eye on all the fights. No credit though, on the other hand, different fight here coming into checkpoint. It's Final Dream against them, a battle for height immediately. Papa though, still standing on his feet, knocked down now. 7net left to his own devices. Savior again, doing that needs to be done. The flatline putting in the work. The scans there too. 7net has to back. Weibo looking to be the third party here.
Well, if you're talking about opportunistic, Weibo pop the evac tower from the low ground to come up and try and steal some of these kills away. And then from the other side, it's Makers. They take the zip up towards checkpoint and get in on the action as well. So as the other teams just try and limp away and lick their wounds, the real fight becomes Makers versus Wonton Dumpling, or now Weibo Gaming.
The 4-squad fiesta, but eventually Makers make their mark mean. Quick little scan too. From above, Makers, they just have all the elevation in the world to initiate the fight. They do get scanned in response. Dexter wanting to lead the charge, but there is a bit of hesitation now. Cover here for Weibo Gaming, but they know that they're the ones at the disadvantage and they have to back away because of it.
Yeah, we actually see the rare melee cancel of the smoke. If you guys didn't know that, you can, if you hold down the smoke button, you can actually cancel it, because you can hold that smoke and, you know, have it ready to go whenever you want. But by meleeing, you can cancel it and give yourself the opportunity to maintain that, which is, you know, more useful than ever now, Dax, that the cooldowns of smokes are longer, the smokes last for less long. You really do have to be a little judicious in their use in this day and age. And as we look in the spider tunnel here, you can see MXF have caught Weibo Gaming off guard, and they will eliminate them.
Yeah, it's not fortuitous at all for Weibo. They just run into MXF there after the retreat against LGD from a while ago. And eventually, MXF looking to pick up some KP too. So Weibo's struggles do continue. They don't even make it to the top 15. But look who's hiding now down below. Final Dream. They can't actually res Papa here, but Makers, we've seen the squad look for the rats all throughout the day. This time around though, they're going to back away from checkpoint and look to move into the ring now.
Yeah, teams are moving in now. This would be a good time to actually get a quick look at the map overview. It'll tell us where that next circle is going, who's set up well, as these teams are probably going to start running into each other in the next 20 or 30 seconds. But before then, I think we'll have maybe just a little bit of time. But nope, HKUF aren't going to give it to us. They're going to take it on with LJD, and Keep Going Gaming are going to third this in like a matter of seconds.
LGD running into the rock that is HKUF, and because of it, the pylon setup is strong for HKUF to anchor on. It already lost 2 here on the LGD side. Scan and response is going to be the answer from Keep Going Gaming. LGD just have to back away as a solo, but KPG are the ones now taking the fight. Tree Cleaner from afar. Big knock onto Crane. A chance here to get some KP2, and Keep Going Gaming will take this position.
Very nice. HKUF just trying to hide behind the fences here as Dreamfire hold Fruit Salad, who really took as long as humanly possible to get inside the circle, and I don't think that was the play in the end. Beiju actually tries to come in over the end here and take out some of his Chinese teammates. You can see there, Pete and No Name holding him off.
Yeah, Dreamfire held off Fruit Salad, who had that armor advantage. Not only that, they can try to pick up 3MZ, bring him to a beacon later on. KPG, though, they're so close to Fruit Salad. Look at this one, Gino.
Yeah, that's
single rat hiding.
Yep, Scholar's just hiding in the corner there. I think he actually managed to... He doesn't even want to pop the med kit. He's so in there. But look, while we do get a chance to look at the map here, you can see Legends double holding buildings here. It's going to be very interesting to see how long they can keep that up and keep some of the other teams at bay as you actually see them take out. I think that was Final Dream there, as the last rat runs into the waiting arms of Strafing Flames Hemlock. But then KD, Kill Devil, also holding down the other buildings, albeit on blues. Let's see if that works out for them. And meanwhile, everyone else is really going to have to start making some headway into this next circle. Bearclaw Gaming, for once, not holding on to God's spot. They will... I mean, it's an okay spot, and they're going to have definitely some kill potential here on all of those teams coming through the choke, Dreamfire, KPG, that sort of angles. But really, it's all on Legends and Kill Devil here, who do have set up positions in the building and will be looking to win this game from those spots.
Yeah, if Kill Devil's kept busy, there's a chance for Bearclaw to sneak in there. You said it. It's going to be a big fight between Bearclaw and Keep Going Gaming now as the ring looks to close on in. Kraber in the hands of Heck yet again, consistent with the snipers. Look to see a shot here. Fruit Salad also has been found, and Single Rat is gone here. Go with Bearclaw Game. Through the smoke, they tried to hit the shots. MDY eliminated off screen. Bearclaw still with the swing though. This rock looking to be brave of Keep Going Gaming, but the fight back is there. Heck, the only one still standing. Tree Cleaner putting in the work, but here comes trouble. The poke out is there from Kill Devil. They do get the shots going. And on the other side, Makers, a trio still fighting on the western flank versus Boogie Borders. A push into the trenches. They wipe out Boogie Borders there.
Yeah, there's still a little bit of room in the trenches, and these teams will fight tooth and nail over it outside. And War Monster Firebird going very hard at it. You can also see that Dreamfire have actually managed to take out Legends Gaming completely. And then we will see MXF from the ashes of all these other teams be able to take position in the building. So congrats to them. They just kind of crawl into the empty shell like the hermit crabs they are there of the rest of the teams. MXF taking the big building. That's such a massive win for the Catalyst team, who even have some pylons to work with now.
I just gotta say though, Dreamfire's devotion in the hands of Pit was just such a show of force, overrunning Legends Gaming as a duo. An early knock onto Easy Flash, and that was enough for Dreamfire at least to wipe out Legends. You said it, MXF, they're the ones in position. They've been doing so good scavenging these positions after rotating a little bit later. Now they're playing Gatekeeper versus KPG. MXF though knocking down Tree Cleaner. Fish has red armor because of it.
Oh wow.
Drop on down. Goodbye to KPG. But Fish, fighting a little bit more than he can chew, has to back away inside the building now.
That was well done from MXF. So many grenades came in, but they said, no, we're going to fight through this. We will not let you in this building. That said, they take one knock And that is enough for Makers, who came in through the west side to get a scan on. And like the amazing team they are, they identify that within seconds. And they are on top of MXF. I love Makers' position in this game. I think they're now the team to beat.
Sharks in the water, they smell blood. Speaking of Shark, though, in the west of Warmonts and Firebird, now they're still alive, ready to play a position outside also. Trying to get in there. Only with Blues, it'll be a struggle in a straight-up fight. Island setup behind the fence. Warmonts and Firebird putting in the pressure. And everything is just being overwatched here by Makers. Asia's also wanting some KP on the side. The swing! And actually a knock onto Kano. Here comes the Rolling Thunder for Warmonts and Firebird, but taking so much damage. It's Makers who's happy to pick up the pieces from there. And we're left to 3 because of it.
Okay, so Kill Devil starting to move out. A nice grenade from Bolin is going to put a needle down. And there we go. Outside the ring gone. Makers make their move decisive, but Kill Devil are coming in. I think they're going to get in there too quickly for the Rolling Thunder to make a difference. Have Kill Devil pulled the trigger early enough?
This is it. Bolin finding Ziki, and that's an advantage Kill Devil's looking for. Makers though still to fight back. Asia shredding his opposition. To a 2v2 we go in. Bolin still putting the pressure on. Luhan also trying to find a little bit of a fight, but the elevation's good for Makers. Never mind, as Bolin still brings the fight in, and it's KD who's been waiting for so long. A 2v1, a fight on the inside. Luhan tried to crack those shields, but nothing happened. Left to 1v1 here, Genome.
Yeah, but Dexter is running circles around them, and even though it was a 2v1, he manages to find the 1v1 against Levy. Bolin not going to be able to have time here to get that res off. Dexter will not let him.
Yeah, Thermite also to try and cut off a rotation path. Bolin desperately trying to get their res going.
Really?
Dexter, he's reloading right now. There's the poke on. Now it's Bolin still. He's hitting too much of the knockdown shield. Tries to go for the shield core here. It's intense. This one doorway is all that is providing cover here. Dexter still finding an angle now. The double time to just go for the wraparound again. Encirclement here by Dexter. We climb to the roof, and it's Bolin who falls. Makers will take that fight and take the map.
Oh my god, that was one of the longest 1v1s I have ever seen in Apex Legends. And that was so awesome. I mean, you have to give it, you know, round of applause, standing ovation there for Makers. A 2v1 and just absolutely bamboozles them to win the 2 1v1s there and take the game in the end. That's such a big win for them.
Yeah, Dexter with an inch of his life still hanging in the balance, and I've not seen a 1v1 like that in our Pro League just yet. But, you know, Makers sitting last on the leaderboard, Genome, this is definitely something that they needed to get, I guess, a little bit more passion to push right back up there. You know, they are an exceptional team, and to be sitting that low for our games today, this is definitely going to get things started for them.
Moving up 15 positions with that win is just such a Makers move. 11 kills they walk away with, as well as the win. And, I mean, clearly something had lit a fire under Dexter. A player that we know that we can rely on for moments like that. And he has just been such a phenomenal player in this region for basically since competitive Apex started in Thailand in APAC-South.
Yeah, he's always been, you know, one of the top damagers. Their team has always showcased some incredible stats, Genome, and, you know, they're getting it together as a team just coming out of this match. So, you know, sometimes it just takes a map change and a little bit of passion to sort of rise the ranks for them, which has been awesome. You know, Final Dream, you know, they were trying to take a fight to no credit earlier on with Weibo sort of joining the team as well there, Genome, and they managed to get a little revive. I don't know if you noticed that, but, you know, it was kind of short-lived a little bit after MXF was on their tail. So MXF are just making waves also throughout this. It's been nice to see them sort of come to fruition and play a little bit more strategically. But again, here we have Makers battling for dear life.
This was just incredible by Dexter. We're going to be replaying this one for quite some time. I think players could learn from this as well. I mean, you know, there were just boxes everywhere. The swaps were there. They were ready. How many times did his opposition there try and bait the res, but Kill Devil just couldn't quite get it off, and they finish up with an astonishing 11 kills. So a big play there from Makers, who we were a little bit worried about at the start, but, you know, maybe Storm Point is where they do indeed make their mark here.
Yeah, and as you can see, Bearclaw Gaming and Serenity, you know, getting knocked out about 10th and 11th there, giving a little bit of a pave away for these other teams to sort of rise up through the ranks, which has been, I guess, a map change, but nice to see. Kill Devil, you know, finally getting a couple of kills on the board there, moving up about 7 positions, I believe, Genome.
Wow.
So that's something huge that we've seen from them. The first day of Split 2, they were unstoppable. So it seems like, you know, coming into today's matches, they're getting back on that train, which is awesome to see. And outside the ring as well, coming, you know, in 3rd place with 3 kills. So moving their way up very slowly. But here we go. Bearclaw Gaming still out in front of 51. Serenity on 39. Final Dream still holding that 3rd place.
Yeah, Legends Gaming have got a lot of work to do if they want to keep that perfect split alive. Possible, but, you know, they're not playing from their comfort spot. For whatever reason, we saw Dreamfire and Legends switch those POIs in the POI draft, going from Cedo and Mill to Mill and Cedo. But, I mean, think about the other important drop spots we've had here, Lace. I mean, you know, Kill Devil getting a 2nd there. They were dropping Trident. One of the things I've noticed about them is they are incredible at converting on these Watson comps when they do get a home zone for them. Can be, you know, a lot of points going their way. And the other thing is that, you know, they're doing quite well here, and we can say the same for Makers after that big game, but both of them have a 2nd draft pick. You know, they went for their World's Edge pick first, and, you know, their objectively worst pick on Storm Point has been working out for better for both those teams so far.
Well, you know, sort of getting the POI drafts, swapping things up can make them play a little bit better. You know, where you kind of take like a little bit of a break from Apex, Genome, and you come back and you're like, you know what, I can take on the world. It's, you know, when you have a little bit of a difference, sometimes it can just really make a team have stronger cohesion and work a little better because it's something different. So they need to obviously communicate a little bit more and move through these spaces that they might not, you know, be so well known at.
Yeah, it's been cool to see all of these teams just have to flex and, you know, try something different. Obviously been working out for some of the teams like, you know, like Kill Devil, like Makers now here in Storm Point, but Legends need to up their game here from Mill. If they want to close this out in 1st spot, they've got a long way to go.
Exactly right. So, well, that was our game number 4. We're going to take ourselves another little short break, and we will see you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Just witness legends in the making, with Makers taking a win with, I would say, the most jaw-dropping 1v1 situation I think we've ever seen. They were sitting at about last place, coming out of game number 3, and managed to climb 15 positions, putting them in 5th place. What an exceptional game from them, Gino.
Crazy. I mean, you know, some other big winners there. Kill Devil move up 7 with their 2nd place there. Outside the ring go up 8 as well with a half-decent game there, getting 10 points. So, yeah, a little bit of, you know, a switch to Watson for some of these teams has very much helped out. Kill Devil outside the ring, both switching over. Makers, however, they're sticking with Fuse. They're going to go loving the Australian again and again, and talking about again and again. I think we're just going to keep playing this one back, and yeah, look, I'm
totally fine with that. It was just, I was sitting there on the edge of my seat, and you know, with ample amounts of shield swaps, Gino. It was anyone's game there, but you know, Dexter holding on with the inch of his life just makes for great entertainment for us. But yeah, to go and rise up the ranks through, you know, amongst all these teams, tying with Dreamfire at the moment, which we haven't, you know, been able to say that much from the start of Split 2, talking about Dreamfire. You know, they were always sort of sitting between 10th and 20th, but now it's 6th place, tied with Makers.
Yeah, I mean, even in Split 1, Lace, we were sort of just waiting the whole time. Like, oh, they've done this before, but they always come back, right? They always turn up. They always make land. And then finally, you know, the luck runs out. The passion, whatever it was not there. And this Split, of course, we've seen them make that change with Roy, the longtime, you know, spiritual leader and everything else, making it through. But yeah, he switches over, and after that, we now have No Name in his place.
Yeah, I guess something's just happened, you know. I think they've just had enough at being at the bottom of the leaderboard, and today's really turning up. So it's awesome to see him Dreamfire and to be able to say that name again with passion, because they are such an excellent team. But I guess we take a look at our compositions here. We have seen like a slight less Catalyst pick. Generally, we saw Catalyst and Watson sort of be a toe-to-toe pick for a lot of teams, but Watson coming out in front, Gino.
Yeah, well, we weren't prepared for this, Lace. We've never had only 3 compositions before, so it looks like our graphic is struggling to keep up with the fact that the meta enslavement has completely taken over APAC South now, with only 3 compositions, 100% bang, 100% blood, and just yeah, a pick between either Watson, Catalyst, or Fuse now.
I guess you're picking Watson to boycott those Fuse knuckle clusters. But as we head over for our game number 5, this is going to be Storm Point. I'm excited to see what happens. Let's take it away.
We've broken the graphic there, guys, and it seems like Makers, they broke their lull from the last game. It was a big shift now to make it to the top 5 within those leaderboards. Makers still in this game, in this set, to try and vie for that top spot there, Gino.
Let's see if they can push it any further, Dax. Makers, of course, starting over in Barometer. That's going to work out very well from them. They've got so many Evo Harvester options this game. There's one south of Jurassic. There's one south of Cedo. There's one just east of them that you can actually see Final Dreams pop up, picking up at the edge of Cenote Caves right now. And they've also got the ring. You can see it's very much pulling around the Bean area. And I guess one of the interesting parts of the POI draft system so far, as we've seen at Dax, is that Bean is not a pickable location. Right? I mean,
yeah.
There'd be a spot there because it's been a very long time position the teams have picked up. I guess what they were thinking was maybe it's too close to Mill. It'll make it too easy to contest Mill if you have a spot there. However, you know, if there are going to be some changes to this in the future, that's one of the possible changes I could see.
I mean, I think about it. I just feel like there's just not enough lootables for 3 people coming into Bean. Just because that your flight path is effectively null and void. You basically drop down. You can go a little bit of distance, but with the broken armory and what the market and some of these buildings, it'd be so hard to play from Bean to begin with. Speaking of though, feel like the market's gonna be such a power position. We've seen a ring end just right outside of it last weekend, and War Monster Firebird taking that memo. They're already on the inside into this 2-floor building.
They're chilling in the market already. Don't even get a single Evo Harvester to their name. That's tough, man. When you're starting off on whites, you are really inviting aggression from other teams at that point. So War Monster Firebird, you know, they picked Cascade Falls. It was their second pick in the draft. And, you know, it's interesting because there was one north of them, but I guess, you know, after hitting the ring console, that's essentially the only amount of Evo points they got on the way over there. You know, didn't even manage to find an Evo Harvester there. They've really prioritized that position, and that's one way to play the game. Let's see how it works out for them.
And just to point out real quick, look at the kill leaders so far in our series here. 9 kills for No Name. Dreamfire gonna get back into form. The rest of that leaderboard having Bearclaw Gaming in it, Serenity, some of the heavy hitters we've seen so far for today. MDY though, they've had some good microfights, especially with the Catalyst Spikes, but coming into the rotations has been a weakness for them. In 14th place with 14 points, they need to move on in from the trenches here.
Yeah, it's a little hard when you got VK on one side of you. Down at Cedo Station. That's Vegas Inferno on the other side. They were called Numnim last week, guys, but they have been picked up. Congrats to them. Love our players here in APAC-South grabbing the bag. MDY do get finished off up north, as you can see. VK Gaming just trying to hold it down with the two of them.
They got the banner though at the very least, but the Beast of the Hunt becomes the hunted there. Vegas Inferno, a single rock to provide that cover. So at least they have elevation. They're looking to play the gatekeepers towards any team coming in from Cedo Station. But looking back, BK, since they have the banner now, there is a respawn beacon on the other side of this POI. And speaking of now, other side of the map, Fruit Salad left to a solo by Euler has to fight versus Wonton here after a beautiful arc star to catch out Jackie Chan.
Okay, Weibo going for the res here, but Fruit Salad, they're completely split on 3 different sides. That does mean they get angles on Weibo, but it means when the res is happening, they can't necessarily match it 1 for 1. And so that means, as you say, it's all up to Biola here to keep the pressure on. But he can't do it. He can't get in fast enough. And that means Boring and Gugu are going to be able to reset and start finishing off the rest of the Fruit Salad members. Biola, he's got to get out.
A page out of Phil Jackson there, man. Triangle offense, but just doesn't pan out with those isolated angles. And Fruit Salad, they got the least. They got a queen that's back to life. And because Weibo is playing gatekeeper on that single banner there, it might be a reset fight of a 2v2, but look at Legends Gaming. They have to recover here if they want to continue their momentum. Bridge over troubled water. They fight for this versus the likes of Final Dream with Easy Flash. He's alone right now. The rest of Legends Gaming on top of the God Rock right now. And with a extra bit of cover, Easy Flash able to back on away, and he's going to get a reset and a regroup with the rest of his team there.
Yeah, they're loving Godrock. A couple of fights going on simultaneously around the map. You can see Fruit Salad. Weibo actually just went for an insta respawn halfway through that fight, and then they storm back through and take out Fruit Salad. Meanwhile, we've got VKG locked up. They've managed to get the third back in. And we're trying to take high ground away from Bearclaw, but they're not willing to give it up.
They just got their teammate back. They just got 9-5-1 back into the fight, but Bearclaw Gaming making them work for the retreat. Even from afar, still. Vegas Inferno being a threat. Haas is the one knocked down this time. VK does have cover. They're just getting peppered from 2 different angles. Go Welly to another side of the map. MXF still. Another situation where they rely on the push. A Dark Veil in the way. Final Dream also needing some heals here along the way.
They've been sitting in the zone for so long because Legends just will not allow them entry back in. They must be running low on meds by now. Last couple of med kits going off, I believe, for Final Dream. Even further down, you've got MXF. Looks like they want to rotate in via the extra Evo harvester they've got down the bottom there. Kill Devil staring across at Boogie Borders.
I mean, Legends has just been waiting for Final Dream to peek on out. But here in the mill, it's a different final fight. Kill Devil on one side, Boogie Borders on the other. Kill Devil, choose otherwise. They set up now inside the southern mill, but down the pylon and look to keep Boogie Borders away. AD is still with fight back though. At least they have marked where Boogie Borders is at.
In Boogie Borders, I feel like they did well with the POI drafting here. They got Down Beast and Lava Fissure. Solid picks, historical picks for this team. They know them so well. They know the rotations, but how well is that really suiting them? Legends Gaming.
Ah, no. Lambs to the slaughter here, my friend. They've been waiting for Final Dream to come their way. A nightmare again for FD as the easy flash hits the last shot, but we're not done with the fights around the map. Kill Devil just looking for the opportunity. Perhaps given here by Boogie Borders, who's scanning them from the opposite end.
Yeah, it wasn't a slow or a merciful death there from Final Dream. They took their sweet time. Boogie Borders trying to get some poke damage, because a couple of them are actually quite close to purples. If they can hold this fight out just a little bit longer, they start evening things up versus Kill Devil, who currently have the armor advantage.
And if you think about Serenity actually also angling on the outside, looking for an opening. Perhaps they see a knock on the kill field. That will be their go signal itself. Kill Devil, they refuse to overextend. This is good discipline from Kill Devil right now. We haven't really seen much of them take flesh damage, but you said it a while ago, Boogie Borders, they're happy to take this kind of fight to poke and try to get to the armor upgrade that they want.
I mean, they've got time. They're well within. They're within round 3. They're within round 4. So they don't have to move. They don't need to force this fight. They can just continue to try and put the damage down upon Kill Devil. But it is hard sometimes when you're trading with a Watson team. Here we go. Boogie Boys just pull right in and catch Levy off guard, popping an ult excel.
That's the opening with the L-Star. Killapau is always good for the knock. And Bolin also struggling to survive. Luhan has to bail out and
Serenity
disengage away from his teammates. You said it though, Serenity also is there. And Boogie Borders have to watch their back. So far, so good for Boogie Borders. Standing as a trio as Serenity can't find an opening in.
Well done by Boogie Borders. That's a smart fight that they have taken there. They also grab Bolin. Luohan, their Watson anchor, is left alone by himself. But yes, Serenity, they pop the scans thinking, you know, maybe this should be an easy third party, surely. But Boogie Borders maintained high ground. They did not take too much damage, and I really like how they played that, considering there was potential there for Serenity to run over the top of both teams had it gone poorly.
And Boogie Borders is hunting for the knock that they got a while ago. No chance to go for the sneaky reds. It's again, Killapau is leading that fight. We've seen from him throughout the split. So good for single and double kills so far in these kind of fights. He's been the heavy hitter of Boogie Borders, but here we go. LGD, BK, they have their own kind of fight right now. 951 in a bit of trouble. The Beast of the Hunt, though. CD Scar gets. The scan comes on out. The Rock is there for cover. And BK Gaming, look for the angle here. A zoom in with the Hemlock. 951 spotted by LGD from afar. Cast is the only one standing here at the fight against this squad now.
What can he do with LD low? Casa finishes them off. Well done. Now he's got a bit of space actually to grab those banners. Looks like most of the respawn beacons around have been used, but he's got a Moby. So I think BK Gaming will be fine. Can't necessarily say the same for these other teams who Legends Gaming seem to keep causing trouble for.
Legends Gaming, they do have to give up elevation as MXF is actually eliminated. KPG with the push also from the north. This is no credit that they're hounding. And I do want to say, real quick, Biggest Inferno also watching for BK right now. So it's all about rat hunting for many of these squads. Just finish off the job. There you go. Savior can't escape. And KPG keep moving forward there.
Nice, KPG. It's important. Now they take up the north side of the zone here. You can see.
Well, that'd be an enemy.
Resupplying here. I see an opponent.
Hostile over there.
I see an enemy. That way. Come on.
Hostile right here. Contact with hostile.
Let's go that way. Écoutez, it's raining enemies.
That spot's calling to us.
We back?
We are back and we are seeing Legends Gaming getting knocked down by Tree Cleaner. He's brought in the broom and player K. He's the lifeline right now for Legends Gaming. The pylon still set up though, but it's no escape from Tree Cleaner who wipes away Legends there. 9 squads remaining, but this mill has always been for the Boogie Boarders for good reason. We continue on with their onslaught. KPG has to hide. There's no escaping though as HKUF also have the angle here.
Yeah, teams from every direction playing a part in this one, but somehow Boogie Boarders, they dodged them. They grabbed some KP. I mean, they've only got 3 so far, so they're definitely not banking on just, you know, beating down all comers. They are playing this smart and only trying to take the battles they can win. They don't want to lose members. They don't want to lose placement points when they are in Godspot.
Yeah, and another chance here for Makers to keep rallying. With Legends Gaming leaving the God Rock behind. They're the ones on top of things. Dreamfire also gonna be nearby them. Makers, a rally from last game from, what, 20th to 5th place. Now they're within the top 3. Hanado, on the other hand, taking the fight to HKUF. And Boogie Boarders, not just the kings of the mill on the inside, but also on top of the roof too.
They've actually been playing most of it from the inside, and the teams that have managed to get angles on them from the top of the roof have ended up taking too much damage from others like Makers and shooting them from afar. So it was, you know, just short-lived. Thinking, hey, we've got the higher ground, but there's always someone else around to cause problems for anyone who's been trying to take mill roof. So 5 squads left. Lohan is still alive. Wow, ratting it out for Kill Devil and grabbing some placement points. Good on him. The other 4 teams, full squads left alive, Dax.
Yeah, he's been quiet as a mouse there in that corner. He went to attempt to try and go for the res, but Boogie Boarders hounding one of those knocks a while ago. And speaking of the wingman from this distance, great shots from Raki to put in a bit of pressure. You see it, and not only that here, Genome, it's the ring pulling their way too.
The classic 1x HCOG taking us back to the Wraith days. And, you know, Wingman has obviously had a bit of resurgence since coming back into the care package, but haven't been seeing as many teams pick it up lately. That bang ult is going to cause serious problems here for Dreamfire. You can see it takes Pete down. Ems goes down to Makers, and it's only going to be No Name trying to make it back into the zone, but he cannot. Lohan somehow avoiding all scans up to this point.
And no escape there for Dreamfire at all, but the Boogie Boarders are on top of things. Let's listen in and see if they can wrap this one up.
On me, under.
Under me, you have a swap on me.
It's a duo underneath.
Under us. This is a full team under us right now.
Okay.
Can we
Okay,
go
the
to
fucking
finish
time.
the left team first? I'm not sure.
It's a full team right here.
Yeah. I'm just gonna try to swing left first. Maybe I can finish him. He's inside here. I can finish him, okay?
Okay.
They're resing.
He tried to race inside.
They stand me here.
He's racing already. Fuck.
I think it's a solo out there.
There's a
Rocky.
solo
we just
behind
play
us.
on
There's a
high.
solo behind
Yeah.
us. Behind these guys.
Yeah, we're just playing here.
Okay.
They're inside already.
There's a Watson.
Boogie Borders, they have the height, but they're left to a duo with Pana gone from this one. So Killapause, they look to see what else he can scrounge. They have a pylon at least to work with from another squad. And with that being said, since Boogie Borders can't put the pressure on anymore, Genome, you have Makers and Vegas Inferno looking to vie for position inside the mill now.
So from inside, they'll try to make it work. Finally, the top of mill is safe from Godrock and all of the advantage points that people were picking at it from before. Not a chance for them really to grab that banner and get the res onto Pana, so it seems like it will be a confirmed 2v3v3. And a Kraber shot will even take Killapause down here. Raki desperately trying to go for the evac motherload option here, but some nice angles. Using that threat vision is actually putting some big damage down onto Vegas Inferno.
Vegas Inferno struggling to push in after the snipe. Killo's gone now, but there's still an effort from Raki there while this happens. Makers is hearing all this commotion right on top of their heads. They've been given a chance to reset and even give some ammo to other players. So Makers now picking up the pieces and catching out Raki. We're left to 2 squads in a straight up 3v3.
Yep, Vegas Inferno with the roof here. Makers went underneath to finish off the last member of Boogie Borders, but is giving up that high ground. Well, I guess they never really had it, but is playing from the low ground here. Doable. Can they actually come out? Could this be a back-to-back on Storm Point from positions that looked ugly? They did it last game, Dax. Maybe they can do it again.
Micro in these fights have been so strong from Makers. Vegas Inferno, they have guns to work, but the devotion's not enough. Makers again looking to make magic happen, and the back-to-back is all but confirmed. Well done by Makers. Another win to their set.
Nuts. They explode out there and take out Vegas in just a matter of seconds. Congrats on the 2 wins.
Game number 5, nothing short of amazing there. You know, another win from Makers, Dax. You know, they won in game number 4, which pushed them up about 15 places, sitting about 5th position. And now with a few kill points and another win, this is our second team to win back-to-back. So exceptional there from Makers. It will, you know, I didn't even know how they made it out of that, you know, with, you know, the team just holding a Kraber shot there, but managing to push out and clutch that win was exceptional.
And not only that, they had a Kraber, they had a Devotion ready to hold W, but as soon as the Makers got out, they had such an impeccable swing to get such a good angle going, and Makers, we've said it so many times, even when they were Tom Yong-kung, this is one of the best fighting teams that we have here in APAC-South. We saw it a while ago versus Kill Devil, we see it now versus Vegas Inferno, and effectively, once they have a little bit of room to breathe their Lace, they're able to assess the situation so well and hit some of the nuttiest shots that are so consistent in the lobby right now.
Yeah, you're so right. This team has been playing together for such a long time. So, like, their communication in forming, like, these plays is just immaculate. So, you know, having this situation, having to swing out against a team that's setting up with Watson fences, with a Kraber looking down the barrel, and being able to win this is just a triumphant defeat from them. So good job to Makers having a second win there, along with 11 kills, Dax.
Impeccable. And not only that, with that amount of kills and first place, 23 points to boost them up even further. This is a good sign though from Numnim, or now Vegas Inferno, recently signed Impact there with 7 kills, and Boogie Borders making it to the top 3 here, Lace. We've said a few times that they've been struggling so far, but their smart decision making in taking bit by bit fights there in the mill secured their top 3 placing.
Yeah, Boogie Boarders were fighting a little bit hard. Pana being, sort of knocked out, creating them to be a duo, but coming third place. They're still holding on, hopefully moving up a couple of placement points. But here we go. I want to talk about Makers. Tied there with Bear Claw Gaming, who had exceptional games on World's Edge. Look at them go from 20th place, Dax, and in just 2 games, managing to make it second, tied with Bear Claw Gaming.
Where was this team in World's Edge? Apparently, Storm Point is what they call home. And with that being said, you're absolutely right here, Lace. Now that it's up with Bear Claw Gaming, Serenity still keeping up with that top 3 KPG. Dreamfire also top 5 in the last game, top 5 here in the leaderboard, and going all the way down. I do have to mention this. Boogie Boarders, the recovery, looking pretty okay so far, making it to 12. But Legends Gaming, yes, they didn't make it past the top 10, really. But they got 10 KP in that fight. This is one of the few times we're not seeing Legends Gaming make it to endgame. But still, look at the ratio right now. 8 placement points to 20 kills. Legends still having a small mark in the lobby here.
Yeah, they had a moment there when I think they were waiting for LGD Gaming sort of to emerge from the zone and, getting those kill points early. So they managed to get, a couple of kill points early on in the match. They tried to set up on Mill, I believe, Dax, and just couldn't hold that position long enough to get them the placement that they, I guess, so desperately need in today's matches. But you know what? We've seen so much from Legends Gaming. Having a little off day, I wouldn't say it's completely off, but, we're not used to seeing them, I guess, in 10th position. We're used to seeing them triumph and be at the top of the leaderboard. They're sitting with 50 series points at the moment. So they had exceptional, games in the start of Split 2. So that's fine. We will, only time will tell. But see, 10th place there, they really did fight for Mill, but as teams were sort of pushing in, Dax, it just wasn't enough for them to get higher placement points. But you know what? They'll take a 10th with 10 kills.
Yeah, it's been a bit rough for Legends Gaming compared to the standards that they set from last week, and some of their biggest games, back-to-back first places with 16 KP each. There is always a possibility for them to go nuclear, but they need to make that map number 6 count. So it's looking unlikely, honestly, for them to get another win in terms of the series. But there's still a chance for them to climb that leaderboard coming into the next map.
Look, we see Makers climb it in 2 games. It's still totally possible, but we're going to take ourselves another short break. So we'll see you back soon for match number 6. Welcome back, everyone. Makers do it again with a back-to-back win, flying up the leaderboard, putting them in a tied position with Bear Claw Gaming. I think they must have found the secret sauce that was on Dax's pizza because they're doing exceptionally well on Storm Point.
It's been a showcase, really, from Makers so far. 2 back-to-back wins with some of the most impeccable calls to actually take these fights. And if you look at these last fights, really, Lace. Makers have always made sure that they take those fights as smartly as possible. Coming into these 3v3s, it does get elongated, especially in that match 4 victory, but coming into match 5, a lot more sure about their swing, a lot more distance made, and now with the back-to-back, if they get one more win again, it's something Gino was talking about a while ago, a bonus point can actually be up for grabs too.
Yeah, we thought we saw Bear Claw Gaming maybe get that extra point, but it looks like Makers now are in contention to do so. They're just, from game number 4 where we had Dexter clutch a magnificent 1v1 to now the full team staying alive with great cohesion. I just am excited for game number 6 to see what they can do. I guess we even have to touch on Serenity doing the work as well. They're not too far behind from Makers and Bear Claw Gaming sitting at 51 points and Serenity being at 42. So, you know what? It's still anybody's sort of game for those top 3 spots. And again, another one I want to talk about that you and I, Dax, always keep an eye out for, Dreamfire. We, Gino and I were having the conversation. We always talk about them. We've just been waiting for them to sort of come together and do something. And, sitting in 5th place there, tied with Keep Going Gaming. If they can pull something out in match number 6, they're also going to be in a great position.
Yeah, and it just seems like their fights are so much more sure compared to last weekend. And it really starts with No Name finding great initiations there on the Bangalore. Not only does he get the kill itself, but he's done 4k damage already, 10 kills to his name. That adjustment really to play that Watson and 3MC has been pivotal for Dreamfire to have an anchor point to just back on away from fights that they're not sure about. And it's been such a good case for Dreamfire. Yes, they haven't taken a dub as of yet, but this is such a return to form compared to the previous outings that we've seen from them.
Yeah, and I just can't wait to see how they sort of move throughout this game number 6. But you know what? I'm going to be definitely, and I think we all are going to be keeping an eye on Makers to see if they can get this bonus point to make it, a 3-match win. Who knows? But as we take a look over here, lovely little stats here, Dax. We love to see how a comparison between players, and we've got Asians and Hex putting out the damage. Heck from Bear Claw Gaming, playing the Watson. Great damage coming out of that for being, I guess a character that's sort of more bunkers down.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at some of the stats really for Stormpoint itself. 8 of Asia's 9 kills have come from this map. It's been an incredible rally so far from Makers, and especially Asia's. He's been having such a heyday really coming into this split. The only one keeping up with the stats that Legends Gaming have left behind. And not only that, he's just so pivotal at allowing Makers to get the advance. But on the other hand, the backline of Bear Claw Gaming has been immense too. The reason why Heck has 5k damage is usually because of his sniper presence. He's always poking at the opposition, and then the likes of Fenfu are the ones who push in and get the wipes that Bear Claw are looking for.
Yeah, I guess you could say that's probably why we've seen Bear Claw Games sort of find the position and be able to clear so much space, because you have Hex sort of just holding down that zone, obviously with Watson creating the space, but using the sniper. A lot of our teams don't sort of use a lot of, snipers in this game. We're looking more at Havocs and Hemlocks for now. But, I guess that's something where they can make space for themselves and make sure there's no tail and they can move forward into zone. So, you know what? We saw it from Legends Gaming as well. Maybe they need to pick up the sniper tactic again. I remember last week we saw some awesome stuff coming out of that team using the sniper on Storm Point. So maybe a little bit of a change of tactic Dax could do for our, our overall series, Warlords Legends Gaming.
I mean, Legends Gaming has been imposing so far. If you remember that fight versus Final Dream towards the bridge, they were just keeping an eye out, making sure that Final Dream would run out of meds, run out of resources, and once they were forced to push on in, Legends Gaming was there to silence them. It's been really the case so far for Legends Gaming coming down to these straight-up 3v3 fights. They've been bullying many of the opposition. Strafing Flame himself within... I think he has the most damage on Stormpoint right now with 2,640. But from what we've seen so far, it's just them struggling in the chaos itself. When they go for the re-rotation, they lose out on the positions that they initially had. We saw that there in game number 4 when they left the house for a while. In game number 5, losing out Godrock itself. So I guess that's really the struggle for Legends Gaming. What happens after the fight?
Yeah, like I said, we saw them sort of try to set up on Mill after getting the KP, so it was kind of just waiting for all teams to sort of rotate in. But unfortunately, a lot of teams sort of want to, push their way through, and they lost the spot, which is, I guess, not really traditional for them. Usually they can sort of fend off, a lot of teams coming for them. But as we take a look at our Bloodhound picks and what everyone's sort of been selecting, Bloodhound has been a major character pick throughout a lot of the seasons, a lot of the splits. So we're not seeing them go anywhere soon. But Dax, why don't you take us through what our players are choosing?
Yeah, the Legend may be 100% pick rate, but right now there's a few split decisions here and there. 3 out of 4 times you stick around the left side there, Lace. Odin's Glare, always very popular, even before the changes in terms of his talents itself. And then on the other hand, Taste of Blood, I've seen this perk really be clutch in those intense scenarios. Out of nowhere, you can just full send a player, get that 50 HP, continue on, or find a way to retreat with that extra bit of movement speed with the Beast of the Hunt, and it's allowed Bloodhound to really be the front line for many of these squads.
Yeah, I guess Taste of Blood is such a great pick, just being that Bloodhound is obviously scanning through our Bangalore smoke meta and then being able to gain that HP. You are very right, Dax. That is such an exceptional, I guess, character meta that we're seeing now, to have Bloodhound be such a forefront character choice on a lot of our teams. So it's just it's something that we just love seeing. And I've always touched on the sort of smoke meta, and I'm glad to see core stickers disappear. We still have the Bangalores running around causing mayhem and be able to create that space, but of course that's why we're going to see Bloodhounds to be able to see through that. I guess with the lack of digi threat coming out of the game, Dax, that's such a big change for this, but it's been refreshing to say the least.
I mean, the meta's been basically gray smoke everywhere. Fire somewhere because of the fuse and a quick low scan to figure out what's going on. So I'm impressed to see these teams really try and integrate the fuse, especially coming into these compositions. So I do wonder what's next right now. Sure, Bangalore, Bloodhound, they have been staples, but that controller role effectively has been the flex pick for many of these squads.
Yeah, and I just guess that's why we see a little bit more Watsons, because of the fuses coming out. So let's go have a look and see exactly what our teams are going to do. This is the final game for A versus B. It's match number 6.
A run is an understatement there for Makers. We're going into game number 6. And from the bottom of the scoreboard, they're here at the top. But what is LGD doing to that Trident here, friend?
LD's got the Arc Star lined up here. The patience. Let's see if it pays off. HKUF are pulling up. It looks like Vic Liao is about to get in that Trident. Can he get the stun? For you guys who haven't seen this interaction before, you get completely stunned. You essentially can't do anything. Once an Arc Star hits a Trident, it is a potent way to deal with someone. And LGD, they don't get the kill, but they do get to steal the Trident in the end.
Yeah, they left LD there with, or rather Vic Liao with 1 HP. LD taking that away, even going for the Evil Harvester. And HKUF, it was right there. It was right in front of them. Oh, that is just unfortunate to say.
That was awesome. Big shout out to the observers there. Some of the best in the biz here at long shot. But yeah, you can see why they know that just those fun little things at the start of the game that, can make a bit of a difference. And that was, didn't quite get the kill, but it's a very cool little interaction between those two teams. Here we go. You see the state of play, everyone. You've got the ring. You've got all of the team compositions. You can also see where everyone is sitting at the moment, and you got to remember that BCG and Makers are tied at 51 points apiece.
A quick little yoink for the Trident 2 LGD. You're going to use that for the rotations, but with the ring swinging towards Barometer now, Genome, this is going to be very interesting for Makers. They've been that hard edge team for so much off the lobby. Oh, effectively, they're forced to play zone, and let's see what they're going to do to adjust here.
Barometer zones notoriously hard to get into later on in the game, so The quick fire rotation by Dreamfire, of course, they're, you know, it's a short walk for them from Seco Station. Not too bad at all. They're trying to get down to the south here, but they are being mirrored by No Credit. And if there's one team you don't want to get into a fight to death with, I'd say it's No Credit, because it doesn't matter how many other teams are around, Dax. Sometimes these guys will send you, they don't care. Their own lives don't matter so much.
They're always a pleasant surprise, and look, No Credit shifting back to the Watson Comp 2. Very cheeky with the scout. Already 3MZ down to the floor, but they do have a bit of cover to work with. The pylon setup too, and effectively No Credit pressuring Dreamfire. Dreamfire is in trouble now. Makers have found No Name, and Dreamfire left to one still standing. Skynet even gonna get lobbed. Dreamfire, they go back as a duo, but Makers and No Credit making it so difficult for them to actually go on in. Still Makers piling the pressure on as Dreamfire struggle to survive here.
Just can't find their spot. No Credit on the top, Makers below. 3MZ now the only one left alive, and Cheeky is even trying to get the angles here. He's got the 2-4 on the scout, so he's absolutely got the range to try and take out 3MZ. 3MZ actually going to try and swing him back now.
He's had enough. He wants to go for it. Very cheeky indeed. Left a single HP as final Dream fly on in now to Barometer. But the fight's still on. Dreamfire. They're going to be done. They want to go down swinging. No Credit spotting that. So again, Spinal Dream plays into the vent. Savior has had enough of 3MZ. And Dreamfire, their case has been made throughout the day, but they're the first ones eliminated in our last game.
Tough. They try and make the quick rotation here, but it's not good enough from Dreamfire. The other teams in quick succession will look at them, but wow, look at this Boogie Borders here. Killerpuz trying to put the team on his back this season, honestly, and he gets a big entry here up onto outside at Mill.
The weight of the world on his shoulders, and Killerpuz does it again for Boogie Borders. Getting a smoke just to bring Raki as well as Panda back to life, but Killerpuz has been a hard carry for Boogie Borders for so long already, and that fight, no different.
I mean, he's chipping in with the comms, he's chipping in with the damage. It feels like Killerpuz is really trying to up his game and get Boogie Borders back to the heights that they have seen before in the ALGS. Killerpuz still very hungry for LAN, for that win.
There's one of the all-time greats really from Thailand itself. Makers, though, on the other hand, all-Thai squad taking first place on Bear Claw Gaming with all this KP. And there you go with another one. Very cheeky indeed. Trying at least to go to that crate to no avail. Just no escape, really. They did get the banner, sure, of Lux, but no credit. They're left to a solo of Savior. Chaos though unfolding again. Legends Gaming, they've been struggling all throughout this matchup. And no different right now. Easy flash to the floor. Player K and Strafing Flame, they need to take cover down below.
2v2. Kano's down for Warm, wants to Firebird as well. And even from the low ground, they do manage to pull up at the second knock, and now the third. Legends Gaming have stabilized. They've got KP. They've moved into the top 10, Dax. Is this the start of something special? Only one game left to pick up some points and make a difference here. I mean, you know, is that #1 spot out of reach? I'd say almost certainly. They'd have to have a 20-plus point game here to get it.
Yo, Bamboo providing cover for Jesco. The triple take to crouch on the round. Now looking to go for the push. The fence though in the way. And here comes the swing from Kill Devil Dare. Serenity gone also. They've rallied well within the A versus B matchup. It's not enough this time around. 16 remain as we still see these teams move towards Barometer now.
Serenity dropping out in third spot, but it's, you know, pretty reflective of their season and their split so far, honestly, Dax. These guys are doing well. They continue to put up solid performances, and even without a big game 6 here, they should be looking good to add a healthy amount to their split total and move closer towards LAN qualification.
They've always been a consistent team at the top. Right now, sure, they can't add on to their leaderboard run, but at least they've done the work. The other 5 maps, Weibo though still struggling as No Credit actually getting the respawn going too. I'm impressed by No Credit. You say a while ago, Gina, no regards to their own lives, but at least now they're back, and interesting enough, with No Credit's res, it's Boogie Borders landing on them here.
They've got a whiff of this, and they're pulling up, and once again, Boogie Borders just seem to be always on the backside where the teams do not expect it. And another team got one more game, making a late push here for this series.
Yeah, Fruit Salad also can't push in. Weibo able to hold him off. And unfortunate for No Credit, it's just kill points delivered towards the rally of Boogie Borders. Still there's pressure now. Weibo, more to fight, more to go against. MXF down below here. Fish though needs to go for the smoke. Get the shield back going. Where are the rest of his teammates looking to try and find a different angle? Fish in the front line, but this is too much to handle as Bobo gets him. Bobo with another one. MXF struggling to survive. We got Weibo though fighting still. A 1v1 for now. Jackie Chan gets the shield back off. It's another chance for him to climb. Here comes the Havoc with the turbocharger. Here comes Jackie Chan and the swift chop and the swift kill. MXF eliminated too.
Incredible for Weibo to pull that one out, honestly. I mean, MXF triple battered and they didn't get punished for having no one hold that. However, HKUF have pulled in off the back of this. See Kill Devil getting removed, and Weibo will follow them shortly, with HKUF being able to get in there before the reset is even possible for last split's #1 APAC-South seed.
Brave effort there from Jackie Chan, even getting knocked with the Peacekeeper. But you said it, the defending champions for the region, yet again, a bottom 10 placing. And their chances for LAN effectively slipping away more and more here, Gino, but we still see this rank play towards Barometer. Final Dream, VK Gaming, they're getting the main building. Legends Gaming have moved actually from one side of the mill to the other. Boogie Borders, the team right on top of them.
Enemy over there.
With those couple of fight wins, yeah, Boogie Borders have actually eliminated a lot of the other teams who might have come in from the western side of Barometer, and thus bought a lot of space for themselves as now they take up position in the middle. See them sitting on right in the middle of the central building there in Barometer, just trying to piff some grenades and whatnot at Legends Gaming. They're taking up position in the zip building, trying to hold that one down. Zone shift south as we see that revealed. Most of these teams not going to get that information regardless of the ring console being in the middle of Barometer. Finding time to use that would be unlikely at best. This, of course, does bode well for Makers and for LGD, who are playing from the south.
Even under the MDY white banner, LGD has been so good at calling these kind of zones, whether it be on the south side of Barometer. I remember also Echo HQ being something that they called last time around. We see now the only other contender to the crown today, Bear Claw Gaming, Genome. Remember that they started all the way from Zoo Station. They come on in towards Barometers with Reds, but the position is what they really need right now.
It's a trade-off, isn't it? Do you want that early position? Do you want the ability and armor and Evo to bully other teams? Sometimes you are able to make that choice. Sometimes the zone and your starting POI just kind of dictates it for you.
Some cover here towards Bridge 2. Quick little scan to get confirmation. There's pressure from above. That will be Keep Going Gaming. Do get pings. Wonder though if anyone can go for the third. KH and the rest been great at sending it, especially Tree Cleaner. We've seen his name light up the scoreboard multiple times. No different now with the Dark Veil push. Tree Cleaner though, getting back into cover on the other side of the wall. KPG move on in, but it's only the orange, the nut here, that they get for now.
And it's not going to be in the next zone either, Dax. So, I mean, sure, it's a place to take this fight from, but it's not really the be-all, end-all here. But it is the end for Vegas Inferno. As we talked about, the triple reds for KPG, allowing them to push forward here. Why even bother healing up when the other team's going to have that amount of HP on them already anyway? May as well just keep going.
Yeah, keep going in Z. Tree Cleaner again. As I said, you could see his kill feed light up there. And I love to say, really, that pickup late into split number 1 to bring him from, I believe, that final start roster. It's been working so well for KPG. They're within the top 5 for this matchup itself. 39 points, not shabby whatsoever. H and the rest using the bridge for cover right now. This ring again, it's all LGDs to play for.
They do have that position in the bridge that will be helping them. Plain little cutout. Once again, though, that's such a good position to have a Watson pylon in, and they do not have one. That means teams like Boogie Borders with the fuse on their side will be able to chuck knuckle clusters in there and cause absolute hell. I mean, sure, if you're jumping on the head, the piercing spikes could be an issue, but that's only for one team at a time. They have to worry about everyone focusing on them in that awesome spot.
And we saw that in World's Edge, right? A team without the Watson taking that train car. It was Nade City all day. Boogie Borders, though, now they push into Makers. A big fight, though, but a big win here again from Dexter. He's on top of the leaderboard right now here on Storm Point, but Killer Boss, of course, making them work for it. A 1-for-1 for now. Boogie Borders on the inside. Aegis now with his own kind of swing. Shreds apart that red armor. A quick swap to another gun. Killer Paws, though, with a fight back still. Yet again, Boogie Borders relying on Killer to get the job done. There you go. They knock down Killer Paws now. Dexter putting himself in a 1v1 here.
Okay, but the 1v1 specialist here, Dexter, is alive, and well, he's trying to pop the medkit, though. Will he give them time? No, they actually try and bait the res here, so it's just Dexter versus Raki. Once again, he has to try and deal with the fact that the other team has those knockdown shields to work with. A grenade will take Panna down, but still, Killer Paws marches forward on the floor, holding that knockdown against Dexter, but the longer they take, the more likely it is teams like LGD Gaming come in here.
Araki, though, he's so close.
No way.
No avail. Dexter has done it again. You cannot deny the destiny of this guy. And well done by Dexter to keep Makers alive here so far, Genome.
Oh, he's going to be so sad if he goes down here, though. He's grabbed both of the banners, but is now getting sieged by teams like Bearclaw Gaming up the top here. Dexter, with another unbelievable clutch, is going to be very hard-pressed to find a respawn for his 2 team members that he carries with him.
Makers is a team full of carries. Dexter no different, but we see Legends Gaming run into Bearclaw, and this is a case to be made. 6 points to gap here, Gino, now between Makers and Bearclaw, but the difference is Makers is left to a solo for the time being.
Solo for now. Solo most likely for the rest of this game. His survival item, an evac tower. It is not a respawn beacon, but he does go into the building, perhaps looking for one. No, he's actually looking for more damage here as Bearclaw Gaming just staring down at some of that action. He's forcing someone out of that building. That's the player that Heck is looking at here with the Kraber. And unfortunately, he will eventually get swung by the 2 of the remaining members by LGD Gaming, who do a good job to take that KP while it's available and further solidify and bolster their position.
Oh, nice shot from Heck. Sniper specialist, truly. As he saw in that fight, LGD, they were looking for loot in the building, ran into Dexter, and that's enough for Makers. No 3-piece for them. Bearclaw, still a chance to take that top spot away, especially with placement points right now up for grabs here. Heck can do so much with this Kraber right now, trying to predict it, but it's Bebe instead who gets the knock on the flying opposition. Bearclaw now move on in closer to the ring.
Bearclaw, they're looking for that bonus point. Makers have gone down. They're the only ones alive who can do that, let alone take out the #1 spot, which they march closer towards. You can see at the moment, Makers still have the most of them.
1 point. 1 point's the gap here, Genome. And now Limo's looking for it. Bearclaw Gaming, they're pushing forward now, but they're in trouble here. 2 still standing. Fenfu desperately trying to find a way to get the medkit going. Heck 2, but now Bearclaw has been found. The closest of margins. MDY making them work for it. Fence is set on up towards the Dark Veil, but this wall preventing the damage to be done by Bearclaw. LGD has also made their way in.
No.
Bearclaw's gone. MDY fighting them off.
Incredible. They might have just lost the series by 1 point. We'll have to confirm on that final scoreboard at the end here, but 2 teams were definitely the better teams on the day, but we've got 2 teams left to see who's better in the last match here. It's MDY rocking the full reds versus LGD Gaming. Feiju on blue, Mingyue on blue, and LD here with purple. Let's have a look. LGD used all of their ultimates to win those previous fights. Baiyun only had to use the Rolling Thunder, so they've got Beast of the Hunt, and we've talked about this already, Dax. That one ultimate alone, you can smoke off the other team without a Beast of the Hunt of their own. Incredibly hard to trade damage effectively against this Bloodhound.
And here comes the MDY Classic now. The Stone Wall of Augenstern does come on up. The Beast of the Hunt is there with the Kraber. And MDY, they know that this is a possibility for them to take the dub here. A scan gets confirmation. LGD looking to fight from the low ground. MDY's crafted this so well. Spikes now to get a good position. Bayon has the off angle too. And it's just a killing floor here. Courtesy of MDY. And trapped now for LGD. MDY will take this one. And for the final map, it's MDY's win.
Look at that. Corralled them like cattle in the pen there in that last fight. Very well done by MDY, leveraging the ultimates, the armor, the positioning, everything they had seemed to be in their favor. And unfortunately, there's no Dexter on the other team, so no clutch available. No miracle for them to pull off.
And that, I guess, is our final game for Groups A versus B, Genome and Dax. You know, what an exciting match. I guess I really want to know, and everyone at home wants to know, if Makers took the top position. I guess, you know, they got knocked out a little bit earlier than Bearclaw Gaming, but, you know, had a bit of kill points under their belt. You know, they've been going in contention, I guess, for the last couple of matches, so it's going to be incredibly exciting to see. But let's take a short little recap, Dax, on our final game for today.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good start there for LGD. That Arc Star almost letting them to kill. And effectively, they play the old MDY style. They go to the zone, play a really good position, very good at really figuring out where the ring's gonna go, providing them that second place. But all throughout, it has been Juggernauts having to deal with immense odds there. If you notice, you know, right? Legends had to fight so many squads. Weibo had to fight so many squads. Bogey Borders had to do so as well, just to keep their top spot going within the map.
I mean, look, we kept talking about Pana going down first, but in some of these fights, you can see the entry frag potential, the damage he's doing to start them off well is also quite commendable. So Boogie Borders, will be interesting to see where they end up too, as a team who, you know, didn't have a stellar start to our split. They finish up with 8 kills, but a 10th place in that final game. Let's see if that boosts them up a little bit further, you know, gets them closer to you know, a repeat performance in terms of making it overseas. We've not seen a LAN without those members, or, you know, the Onyx members for, you know, a Raki-led team for quite some time.
And here we have it. Everything that we've been waiting for, just to take a look at this game and how it unfolded. MDY, absolutely exceptional. 13 kills for them. You know, they believe that they were sitting a little bit lower on the leaderboard. This could be something excellent for them to rise the ranks. And again, we have LGD coming, I guess, to fruition here in second place. They've had a couple of second places today, so not really gaining the, I guess, the kill points that they really need to be in, like, those top spots. But, you know, still getting a great position for them. And Bearclaw Gaming here with the 3. Dax, I am literally trying to hold my excitement to see who has taken out the win today.
Like, we pointed it out. There was 1 point before all of that fight happened. And now we're going to see the results. 1 point truly is the gap. We called it a while ago in the cast, but Bear Claw Gaming, because of MDY stepping up so well in that final fight, they prevent Bear Claw from getting that full 25. Finally, Makers no longer second place here coming into the series. And I do want to point out here, guys, Lacey said it a while ago, MDY, I think they were 17th or something coming into the last game. 5th place to end that day. What a game number 6 for them.
Yeah, Gino, I find like all the games today, getting that win has really just changed things for these teams and shuffling around so much on the leaderboard. As we can see, we've got 3 teams, with the 39 points. They were all sort of just fighting for like, the 5th, 6th, 7th place there. How do you feel?
Yeah, it's a pretty close one. Hey, 3 teams on 36 as well. I mean, Dreamfire sitting on 35. It's a rough place to be that close, but also in 11th spot. Interesting that we've also got quite a few teams relying heavily on the placement points here as well. LGD Gaming picked up 5 kills for the entire day, but complement that with 23 placement points to pick up 28. That's a nuts stat line. Vegas Inferno with a 10 and 20. And then, of course, our prescient team, Bear Claw Gaming, picking up 35 placement points to blow everyone else out in the water in terms of how long they were able to stay alive, how long they were, or how quickly they were able to take over those god spots, especially on World's Edge.
And I guess we've seen a little bit of a better play from Boogie Borders, I would say. They have been struggling throughout the start of Split 2, but, they sort of got it a little bit better in the last couple of games, I believe, Dax. They seem to be losing Pana a little bit early for the fight, so it is putting a lot of pressure on the other two to sort of hold it together there. But, they had such a clean sweep there, I believe, in one of the, in not taking out no credit. So they definitely have that skill to be able to be our top contending team. So I'm really still hopeful for them.
I mean, Killo's been feisty. 6 kills in that last game. And looking at stats, 12 kills overall out of the 22 Boogie Borders had. With that kind of effort, they actually overtake Legends Gaming to take 9th, even though they were tied up in the scoreboard. So it's good to see Boogie Borders. When you come into Storm Point, you always have to keep an eye on them. We've said it last weekend. We see it in the last 3 maps of the set. Boogie Borders providing a bit more of an effort to keep alive.
Yeah, and I guess this is what we've been waiting to see. Legends Gaming was sitting at the top the previous week. Let's take a look at our scoreboard here. Incredible. Look who has taken over.
Damn, Makers on top now, but we've got to remember not everyone in this has played the same amount of games. But that said, Makers looking very good for LAN. Legends and Serenity all looking fantastic. From there down, you've got a few teams who are, definitely knocking on the door. Boogie Borders there at 36. We'll see if they can maintain that as with the other groups get to play as well. And then Kill Devil with another 8th position today. That's likely good enough to keep them in the running for their first appearance at LAN. Well, apart from Bolin, of course, who's, had a couple of super sub experiences already.
Yeah, you're definitely right. We still have another group to go, and Legends Gaming, being at second, they're still going to play another 6 matches again, so could, move up the leaderboard again. But let's have a look at some stats. We love to see exactly, what our teams have been performing and how they've been doing throughout these games. And it's, just incredible to see some different faces, but also some returning faces there, Dax.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, honestly, with Strafing Flame being at the very top. He has been immensely incredible coming into split number 2. Even game number 1, with the struggles of Legends Gaming, he's the only one getting those knocks, while Easy Flash and Player K were trying to get back in the thick of things. He's always been full of effort, being the front line really here for Legends Gaming. And without his efforts, I wouldn't even see Legends make it to the top 10 today. But to no surprise to many, 2nd and 3rd place was Bear Claw. The snipes from Heck and the pushes from Fenfu really providing them a great World's Edge run, especially to bring them in the top 3.
Yeah, we can see here that, Heck, I guess, was always keeping position and holding strong in an area while, you kind of let Venfu go out on a lead a little bit and get to do some exceptional things as well. And that played in favor of them today, Genome. Like we were sort of saying earlier on today, they're really creating space for themselves and playing smart and not diving too much into, I guess, a fight if they don't need to, because they are sort of getting the kill points along the way. And, they took out 2 wins.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly, Lima on the Bloodhound, actually the lowest of those 3 in terms of damage by quite a bit. Having a look at our rat stat over here at long shot, we've got Lohan from Kill Devil actually leading. Good job to him. I think there was one game where he did manage to net them quite a few placement points. Just sitting by himself. Obviously Watson also, it's interesting because that's not necessarily the best character to rat with, right? You've got no movement options. People will notice if you pop a gen down. It's a tough one there. So congrats to Kill Devil helping his team along. And then Asia's 6 minutes as well from Makers. You've got to remember, they did get knocked quite a lot. And, go down to 1 member and then manage to reset. So that's probably where a lot of that time has come from for Makers.
Yeah. Well, we obviously saw, how the rat position worked in favor for Makers today. They got the kill points and they just had to wait a little bit longer just so they could take over Bear Claw Gabby to reach the top of the leaderboard there. But that concludes A versus B for today. Don't go anywhere, though. We're going to take a little bit of a longer break and we're going to have another 6 matches with our groups A versus C. So we get to see the likes of Legends Gaming keep going and see if they can take their top spot back. We will see you in a moment after the break.